Yo,
and we're back.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year's 2020. We're
2020.
roaring again.
2020. Let's you had your glass up. Let's just go ahead and really commemorate that there.
All you out there, we made it to another year, another decade.
We're live. And we're live.
How about that, Rock? Oh. He'll be here.
Yeah, Rocky will be here. He's running late. 2020 hasn't been treating him so great. But we'll get more than that when he gets here. This is the Plug Gaming 2020 episode 1, the rebirth.
Number 1. I'm your number 1.
Joe host, the Dutch Master, with Sam.
The Freight Sampler.
With the French. Hong Kong.
Ha ha.
But
like
yeah,
the Caribbeans. That's my. At least
that went to like
my rub.
That went to like a Dutch pirate or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure these out. I don't do accents.
Okay, we got it.
Shit, I'm from New York. Can you even tell?
One thing we learned in 2020.
Sam doesn't do accents.
Boom. But yeah, we're going to play some video games, talk about some video games, talk about
some tech.
Some
New Year's,
2020 tech.
Some presents from Santa Claus.
Some Santa Claus things, because we still believe.
Was he good to you?
Yeah, I mean, he was good. He's good to me every day.
He was real good to me, and some of those presents even showed up days later. Just like, no knock on the door, just open the door to leave, and shit, that's a big box.
Yeah. I want to talk about that for a second. Amazon is shit.
Right?
Okay.
You haven't figured that out yet. Amazon is shit.
Yeah, so I get a notification saying, an item was delivered. I was waiting for, my Santa Claus present to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get the notification. It's like, it's 9 o'clock at night. So it's like, okay, I open the door. It's just dark. Like, there's nothing in front of my door where there's light. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. Sometimes they drop it at the neighbor's house. Like, that's
a fair mistake.
Like where they have a door on like their side walkway up that can look like the front entrance. Like, it doesn't really look like it, but I guess if you're like an Amazon delivery guy in a hurry,
you don't give a shit.
It could look like a front door. So it's happened before. So I'm like, okay, I'll go check there. As I'm walking out through like the front of my house, I like get a glimpse of something by the gate, and I was like, what's that? And like, it doesn't look like a box though. Like, well, it's like a box, but it doesn't look like a shipped box, like a brown box. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Random.
Like, yeah. So I get closer and like, I can't really see it that great, and then realize that, oh, that's just the actual box that my item that I ordered it comes in.
Yeah. Nondescript box, yeah, just a freaking cardboard, plain old box.
No, it's telling you exactly what it is on the inside. It's like if you bought it from the store.
But
so they just they know. They just slapped a sticker on the box that it comes in and sent it to me like that. Okay, so it's like, what? And it's just sitting there, 9 o'clock at night, like 2 inches past my gate.
And you wonder why people steal Amazon packages.
And I'm just like, dude, like, okay, this is something I actually, like, I get a lot of stuff from Amazon. A lot of it's just like whatever stuff. Like, I order stupid shit from Amazon. I think that's like the best thing it's for.
It's so easy to just buy something frivolously, like click done. Oh, yeah, that's easy.
Like, oh, I needed an auxiliary cable like that for sure. Yeah, let me get it. I need a new HDMI cord that's long. So
I can't find my HDMI cord. Just order another one.
This was like actually like the a higher end CPU cooler that like I was like, okay, this thing is gonna be super dope. It's gonna make my computer look super dope and run better. And like I'm waiting for it, like really wanting it, and then it's like you find out that that's how it's been treated, and it's just sitting in the dark, like an inch past your front,
and you're immediately concerned.
Yeah, you're just like, what the fuck, like, and then you're just like, damn, Amazon, like the box you couldn't even put it in a brown box.
At least you knew what it was though, because speaking of like just getting in a brown box, it happened again this year. For some reason, it's always like my dad likes to buy me a gift and then not let me know that it's on the way, and then I open my door. And I find just this box, completely nondescript, and just a brown box just right outside the door, nothing on it. to the point where like I'm actually, it doesn't even say my name, it just says the address it's going to, and I'm like concerned of like,
what the hell is this?
yeah, like I don't think anyone's gonna mail me a bomb, but like, man, that's what it would look like.
I was different in my younger days. I pissed a few people off.
It was like, I remember my dad one year sent me around the holidays an NES Classic when those first came out, and I didn't open the package for a good 4 days because I had no idea what it was or where it came from, and I was actually unsure.
Right.
But thankfully, like, unlike my last place where they would continuously say that they tried to deliver it and then never deliver anything, at least at this place, they get it inside and they leave it for me.
There you go.
Because, like, especially for apartment complexes. But if y'all don't know out there, Amazon got declined by all the major, like, you know, USPS and UPS and all those companies, like, have officially just been like, look, we're not going to handle your guys' shit anymore because we can't handle what you want to do. And so that's why you got these Amazon trucks and things, but they have completely unprepared people for delivery doing deliveries. And so, like, it's just a shit show always. I'm just excited for them to get to drones or something like that, because then maybe it'll
says
make
it's coming.
Right?
They said they'd be droning. A lot of things are coming in 2020. I don't know if Amazon drones are. I think they already have them.
They've tried it like in test markets, but I don't think it hasn't been like a thing that's stuck yet.
Right. But we just had the new, what was it, just this last weekend?
CES?
CES, the big show that always goes down in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I went one time, and it was dope.
Right. So it's everything. It's tech everything.
The year I went was
it's important for a lot of industries, not just video game. It's photography,
videography.
Yeah,
hell, fridges are usually one of the biggest things there.
Right.
I think it started around stuff like that, actually.
Right. But crazy as you have it, your fridge can order you groceries from Amazon
because it knows what you're low on,
and it can go and hook up to your phone and get a list off of that, or shoot a list to your phone as you're out shopping. So
you're gonna be like, "Yo, fridge, you ate all my food," and your fridge is like, "You were stoned last night, bro." Congrats.
Dude, I caught this video of you, dude. Check this out.
Right, and you're like, "I don't remember doing that." Fridges these days.
Man.
I'll say, you know what? Because we were talking about CES, and I'm looking at some of like the best, you know, the top rated things on there. One of those was a robot that brings you toilet paper.
Someone's
Not
really
often you find
in
yourself in that situation, but I guess when you are, man.
Well, then you just don't have to keep the toilet paper there anymore, though. So
right?
you got to expand your thoughts with when someone creates something like this.
I don't really have any other place I want to keep my TP than the bathroom.
Well, but that's the point. Now it just can be anywhere because the robot will just bring it to you.
How many rolls does it hold on to?
I don't know. We got to look into that, but it only needs one because if it can just go get another one, I mean,
I'm all out of shit tickets. Where's that robot at?
That's all you have to say. Right. And then he's on his way. You don't even have to ask where he's at because he's only doing one thing.
Just thinking of, you remember South Park?
That's efficiency.
In South Park, the World of Warcraft episode when Cartman's like, "Ma'am, bathroom," just like that.
I didn't see that one, but I'm sure Rocky loves that one because it probably has a poo sock or something involved in it.
So it won awards. That episode, and that episode was so cool because like they worked with Blizzard, and actually like most of that episode takes place in World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
so it was
I know
really
about
cool.
it, but I fell off on South Park a long time ago.
Yeah.
I just never got back into it.
That was, I think, still in the era where they were doing good because like to me the only time that show really fell apart was when they tried to do these like long like story arc seasons. But even in the past couple seasons, they stopped doing that shit, and they went back to the old things of just getting real fucked up with the news.
Yeah, that's when I watched. Yeah, that's when I watched it a lot.
It's also turned into like the Randy show a lot.
Okay.
Stan's dad.
Yeah, Stan's dad. Yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah.
Randy started a pot farm. They live on that pot farm now.
Crazy.
It's funny. Tally
awesome.
is like his assistant.
That is awesome. But so I don't know. I fell off on that. But no, they have a lot of new stuff coming through, some groundbreaking stuff, and it's even like gone to the point. Even so Asus released this new monitor, Okay, and it's endorsed by NVIDIA, the graphics card makers, like, because if they endorse the monitor, it has to be like top tier to get the G-Sync. But it's a 360 hertz monitor, and I'm assuming that's going to be at like 1080.
Yeah.
And like, even when you're at 240, it's like hard to just tell the difference that you're at anything higher than 120.
But now people who maybe they had robot eyes at CES this year. Who knows?
So
maybe that's next year.
But like, I'm just like wondering where are we getting at this? It's like it's so crazy how 4K is still here, and is having some had some light shine on it in 2018, more in 2019. We're getting into like most videos being 4K or ultra high definition, and you still have a focus on this 1080 class, right?
I think it's
because
just
everything still is lying inside that 1080. And I was talking about this with somebody the other day. If you're just a general consumer, or just generally you're like non-enthusiast whatsoever, like there's nothing special about 4K that you're not really missing, because like even the pixel density is the same, 1080 to 4K. You just are able to stretch that 4K larger so you can get it on a bigger screen and it stays clear.
Where it really matters is if you're doing a giant screen,
right?
But also what you see is like a lot of sure, TVs are hitting 4K like crazy, but most devices are upscaling. They're not built. They're still 1080p things that they're upscaling to 4K. So it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? It's like it's fake. It's fake 4K a lot of the time.
Well, what happens? And if you stay in that ratio, the 16:9 ratio, you can kind of achieve those upscalings pretty simply now with technology. So it's like it works well, but like 4K to 1080 works really well with the 16:9 ratio. It's almost like exact.
Yeah. It's basically just 4 screens.
Right, exactly. Where like 1440, 256, 2560, and 1440 like doesn't really add in as well.
Yeah.
And it throws it off a little bit. So like that's kind of a skipped resolution. That's really
more
good.
PC monitor type stuff.
Exactly. It's really what you see on the PC.
You get those different dimensions.
It's not a TV resolution.
It's like 23-inch monitors and stuff, or not 23, but like that wider. You get a wider.
Well, no. There's that's a wide 1440 wide, which they have. The 2560 is not wide. It's a 1x1 like 16:9. It just like for whatever reason it was looked past in the development in TV, probably because 1080 is, when you look at it on a bigger screen, the pixel density is the same. But if you looked at both of them on like a 24 or 27-inch screen, the 1440 one would outshine, right? Because that pixel density starts to make a difference on that tighter spot. So like after 24 inches, 1080p starts to look weird unless you start to stand back. You know what I mean? So like 1440.
But PC monitors is really where you see that width changing that much, because it's really only on a PC monitor that you're actually trying to multitask in that format, where you need that extra sideways distance.
Correct.
Where TVs, really it all just falls to the 16:9 ratio.
Yeah, and then all your viewing distance. So it's like funny for a lot of people, you get a good distance on like a quality 1080p television, like a Sony, Samsung, or something like that. And like, dude, they look just as clean as the 4K ones. Yeah. Especially if it's like your home setup, because you're gonna be sitting further away from that 4K, and if you have a smaller screen that you're kind of closer to, that those images are gonna be extremely close. And some people's eyes aren't even gonna be able to tell the difference. Same with like 60 hertz to 120 hertz. Some people's eyes, just for whatever reason, don't start to see past like 70 frames or 80 frames.
Yeah.
And most people, like your normal eye to look at stuff is like way lower than that as well.
Most people don't even notice.
So you can't even comprehend all those frames. You just know that it's faster. Like you just are like, okay, I can tell that's faster, but you can't comprehend everything that's happening. So it just looks more steady and clean. So it's like kind of crazy where like if you just stay on the higher end of stuff, you're pretty solid, no matter what resolution you go with, 1080 4K, as long as you're getting the higher end. But like you can get the lower end 4K ones, and just the sheer fact that they're 4K, they're gonna look slightly better than it's probably 1080 counterpart or whatever. So
it's funny because the year I was at CES was the first year of it was the year that 4K was what mattered,
right,
and so it was just 4K monitor, 4K screens all over the place. Then you had Samsung, who was like, "We've got a 5K screen." That was like the big deal.
Now there's 8K.
What was the coolest shit I saw that was like, because that was also the year people were really starting to get into curved TVs,
right?
But I'm still a little unsure of like how much that really matters. But I saw a TV that, without ever breaking the picture, changed from a flat screen to a curved screen. So like the screen's actually pulled out and it made that curved screen, all with keeping the same like 4K image up.
Right. Yeah, so the curved screens I hear are good if it's like just you. It's the screen's just right in front of you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like it makes it a more immersive feel, and then there's also like a certain sweetness to the curve. Like it needs to be like a certain degree. Otherwise, after that, it's like really just not good. So like you need to be. It's harder to buy curved than it is a regular monitor because there's like little.
It's only very specific places it works,
and there's
it matters.
And then there's very little things that like adjustments and stuff. It's a lot more, I'd say, advanced user, I guess, than just hey, I just bought I need a 27-inch monitor, 1080, and I just went and bought one.
If you're getting into 3D screens, I think curved makes it work a little better.
Yeah.
Because it's
is 3D
what you
even
get,
a thing anymore? Like that is so crazy.
You know what? VR stepped in its place, it seemed, because it's like, why worry about 3D if you're just going to be putting the goggles on at that point,
right?
And you're in a more than 3D environment. You're in a 360 environment.
Yeah, I think the goggles are what kill VR for me, to be honest. I just don't like having a headset on for like you can't. I just feel like nobody plays VR that long.
You're right.
Like you don't have very long gaming sessions in VR.
I got to play for a while on an Oculus once.
Right.
Or I put a good couple hours of playing on it in because I was trying all the games that the person had downloaded and stuff. And what was the dopest part about it to me was its physical measuring of where you are. Because the first thing it had me do when I put it on was it actually showed me this really weird grayscale version of looking through goggles, like I was seeing the world around me. Okay. And I actually had to draw the space on the ground using the controller that I had to play in. So I gave it the box that I could play within.
Okay.
And then as soon as it throws the VR environment on around me, I can't see the world around me at all. But anytime I would get close to one of those borders that I drew, it would like throw up an imaginary wall I could see of like, here's the edge of your play zone.
Okay, wow.
And it was really cool to experience that. Huh. So like you could draw whatever space you were in, and as soon as it knew you were getting to the edge, it would just show that little hologram wall in front of you.
It's pretty crazy.
It was super cool. Plus, Beat Saber was fun as fuck. I loved playing that because I like a lot of those rhythm games.
Yeah.
But like you've seen Beat Saber?
Yeah, of course.
Oh man, so cool. Where it was
I've thought about it. My graphics card is VR ready, like has the USB-C port and everything ready, like already built in, ready for it, so it can do VR like pretty good definition VR, high definition VR, and frame rate. So I just never really got into it.
I mean, honestly, before VR, I care more about getting something like Nintendo's new Ring Fit. My roommate and I have been talking about getting that game. Which is pretty dope. And because I liked what the Wii Fit did.
Yeah.
Wii Fit with the balance board and everything was a great device. And I loved using it, and I loved playing those games. This Ring Fit adventure takes the whole exercise aspect of using these and makes it more part of an actual adventure game.
Okay.
Rather than just doing yoga and video gaming, what yoga is, and Pilates. Exactly, This is more like you gotta like move this thing around and block shit, and it's like you're playing an actual character who's going through stuff, and you have to do different types of actions to like control what moves you're doing and how you're attacking and stuff. Or like, it's just more simulated into a thing. And honestly, like you play that thing once a day, actually helping you.
Right. Yeah, that's dope. That's super dope. Yeah. But yeah, another thing I saw Elgato for the streamers, because that's what we use to get this video up on the screen there, and that's got to run through our computer and this or that or whatever before it gets to you. Elgato has come up with a 4K external card that actually, well, the good thing about it is they actually, I think they didn't have a 4K external, but you don't need a PC. So you don't need another PC. So
it connects to the internet for you
to take this data.
Yeah.
Well, no, you'll need a PC to get it up to the internet.
Okay.
But like this is converting the video, and then it's being processed through my computer.
Yeah.
Right. So this box is going to do post processing, turning it into just a 1080 feed. And then you'll just put that feed into your PC.
So it converts direct to video there. Your PC's doing this
So
work.
now you're just sending over the video file rather than the hard raw footage.
Your PC is handling the upload, not the compiling anymore so much.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's good. That's good.
So like we're sending it through here. This is turning it into the signal, and then the computer still has to use its processing power to bring this video up. And that's what starts to kill people's CPUs when they're streaming. So this is a way that someone who has any sort of console or just a PC, and you have let's say you have the 4K versions of those consoles, the One X, the PS4 Pro, or your PC is in 4K.
Yeah.
It will send 4K signal, and then you can change that to 1080 or whatever else you want it to come, show up as, up to, even 720. Especially if you're just starting to stream, you should definitely stream at 720 rather than 1080.
Twitch doesn't let you break 720 still, right?
They do.
Or do they now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I remember for a long time you could only do 720.
So what it was is there was basically when you were affiliated, you got a card drawn, a random number drawn. And if you weren't selected or your number, it's wasn't a 6 and the 6 is the number for the day, and you didn't get a 6, even if you streamed at 1080, they would slow your bit rate down. So it'd even be 800 or not 800, 4,000 instead of what you have it set at 7,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that changes it into a weird resolution, so then it will just default to the lower one.
So most people just
be at 720 anyways when you're an
Yeah.
affiliate. So when you're a partner, you get whatever you stream at.
That makes sense.
They give that to
But
you.
I can
But they used to
imagine-
restrict you completely to where they would not even show your video. If actually it still does that. If your bitrate gets too high, they'll just deny your video. Won't even start to show up. It will save it like you streamed it and everything, but it won't show up as a live stream. So they do have weird restrictions over that.
It makes sense that that's that's a decent thing for trying to get into a partner program with them or something, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a motivation, let's say.
But to be honest with you, like you said, most devices are in the lower reses anyways, and they're just upscaling. So if someone's watching you mobilely on Twitch, or through an app on their TV or something like that, it's already going to start coming in at 720 most likely, and then there'd be some post adjustment that's probably going to make it look even worse. So by delivering it at that actual 720 frame, resolution, you'll get whatever they get will be in the actual 720 as well. So it'll be native, and it will look so much better.
Yeah, looks better, runs better. Plus, a lot of people
more
are
people
watching
are going to be able to see
so
it.
very
Exactly.
few people are going to actually be trying to ramp up. Because
Right.
have you ever tried to watch even 1080p on
Stream?
mobile internet
Yeah,
and
right.
stream it?
Right.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Too many breaks.
Right.
I drop everything 720 or less.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if it's a video where I'm really just listening to someone talk, like a podcast or something, I'll just throw it down to the lowest resolution possible.
Sometimes the YouTube does it for you and just gives you the 480 version and makes you change it, just because of whatever reasons. The video's not or has been there for a long time, this or that. More people watch it in 480. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that people don't look into on those resolutions. So they just shows whatever it shows up as is what they're just enjoying it at. You know what I mean? They don't play with that slider a lot. So if you just give it to them at a resolution that you can handle, then you can do it. But nowadays you're not going to have to worry about that, because for $400 you get a little sweet little box that does all the work for you and puts it straight through as a live feed.
Yeah.
And you can just send that any which way. And I'm pretty sure that it probably has an internet connection to it, and that you can dial it in as a upload server, and it will just upload straight to Twitch, or straight to, if you wanted to get fancy, you could have a computer, have it loaded up to OBS, and then just show it to OBS. There's a lot more options for streamers these days, and they're not going to have to go and figure and fiddle and do all this extra shit.
See, that's
like
a
we
great
did,
thing. The
like I did.
Elgato upgrade is real nice because that definitely it means you don't need as good of a computer.
Yeah, and you don't need to be as like honestly, I one of the things about streaming and like any sort of content creation that I like is that you learn all this stuff because you're like you're never like unless you make it like you're not that popular, this or that. You're not probably turning around a bunch of money when you first start off. And that first start off period could be up to like a couple of years, but just really how you're doing it.
You get to learn where you
exactly
get to try things out, and that's
right.
It's like,
but that's kind of my point though. Is with the Elgato and its basic versions before, it made a lot of people go through and learn stuff. And like I was saying, I love it that you learn this stuff. But a lot of times you're just learning. You're not learning anything. You're learning a workaround. Because it's something you couldn't solve because like you didn't have the gear or the finances or this or that, or you didn't want to like allot the finances to streaming. So you're like, oh, I'm gonna learn this workaround, and then like you get the workaround, but it's like it's never the solution.
And you don't understand the tech.
So you become like
so much.
yeah, so you become like a MacGyver.
It's like you were talking about bit rates, like. That didn't matter, and you didn't have to understand it at all.
But that's how I learned
until
bit
you
rates.
had to work with it. Yeah,
exactly.
And so,
and that's why I want to differentiate like what I mean by that. Like I'm meaning like for the 4K setup, and a lot of people they're buying multiple different versions of splitters, multiple different versions of switches, this and that, all for the HDMI cables, upscalers, downscalers, converters, all to try to figure out this thing that the Elgatos could never do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like now they finally have come out. It's like, yeah, dude, I've learned so much about what makes good devices, what makes good hardware, like what makes good cabling, this and that. Like those all do make a big difference. But I only learned all that shit because because I had shitty cables, I had shitty HDMI switches, I had shitty multipliers to make like put it on several screens. Like you just realize like those little things, and then like it turns into more of a hassle, but you're like learning through it. So it's like learning the hard way where you're like, fuck, okay, rather than like when you're learning about bit rates, you're learning it because you're like, actually, okay, I can control how my upload looks, how this video is going to look. It's
especially
actually things that allow you to fine tune
from the studio over to here. I mean, you built this office up to be what we're doing now.
It lets you learn about how fine tune things rather than like, it's good to be able to buy one device that has all the stuff in it that you need to get whatever resolution you want, and it's loading up to the internet or to your Twitch for you.
And our stream's looking better than ever.
Because, it's good to know all that stuff, but like at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to buy that Elgato thing as well, even know that I have all the equipment. Yeah. Now I get to eliminate like 90% of my cords.
A lot easier, but you understand, so much more. And you're right; it's going to give us a lot of more freedom as well. Especially like we switch between playing on a Nintendo, on a Sony, on a
that's
Microsoft,
exactly what I mean.
We're everywhere.
So I manipulate that through like the switches, the boxes, and all that stuff to where we can actually do that
just
smoothly.
That Elgato can really
now I just go. Switch a cord, and it's not gonna have to. I'm not gonna have to worry about did the switcher pick up the signal correctly? Did it lock in its? There's all kinds of stuff with that.
Now
with
we just
HDMI
have to be concerned if the switch went to sleep or not, because that's something that even like I was saying you to before. That's what they need to fix. Damn it! Like
that messed us
smart
up
TVs,
a little bit. Yeah.
That Elgato, I remember was having trouble. But the reason we were having problems with the Elgato was because the monitor. But the monitor I was using. And the Switch, where all these smart monitors and devices,
where they'd be one would be off.
Sometimes get lost in when a console goes to sleep and then you're reawakening it.
PCs do it all the time.
It doesn't turn the screen on until you're actually actively using the console. So you have to like turn the console on, blindly start mashing some buttons just to get the screen to turn on and recognize it. And then then the Elgato isn't recognizing it until the screen turns on.
And then you
realize your PC's not recognizing the Elgato until the Elgato's recognizing the PC, which it's like a whole scale of just problems that starts happening.
And you realize after you smashed all those buttons in the dark screen that you deleted all your save data.
Oh, memories.
What? But hey, that still happens. In 2019, I got all of my Borderlands 3 data deleted and still haven't recovered from it. So there's that.
Well, while we're talking video and stuff, last thing from CES from me. This one creeped me out a bit, but it's a cool technology. This wearable camera here for hearing aids, that the camera watches you, starts to analyze and gets to know like what it's looking at and who it's looking at.
Okay.
So that it can lip read you and amplify its accuracy of the hearing aid.
Now, is that going to breach some sort of
that's where I'm
privacy stuff?
I'm a little concerned hearing that, because I mean, we already saw this issue with TikTok.
TikTok, a couple other things though too. All kinds of technology like that. If you haven't known this
about TikTok yet, when you agree to use TikTok, everything you put on TikTok is sent to that company, and they own all of that. So that's a Chinese company that a lot of people right now are recognizing that realistically the Chinese government has every video you took of yourself on TikTok, and they own your face.
And they making money in China.
You're gonna go on a trip in a year out there, and you're gonna be like, "Hey, is that me on that billboard?"
Yeah.
And it fucking is.
Yeah, it's you. It's fucking you with a little photoshopped with a fake family around you and shit.
You're like, I don't know those people.
Oh, it's a McDonald's billboard.
Gotta love technology. Oh wait, last thing, that fucking TV remote. That was it. The
Edward Nigma.
The mind control TV remote.
The Nigma.
That's what it's called, the Nigma?
No, that's Riddler's name.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like the technology based off of Jim Carrey.
The company's
Riddler.
Next Mind. A $400 Bluetooth headband. So you gotta don't lose the remote anywhere. No, you gotta just keep track of this fucking hat that you keep on your coffee table all the time.
Yeah.
But you can mind control your TV. Remember when they came out?
I know, but how does that even mean mind control?
I don't know. You know what? It's probably doing alpha, because there's a lot of those alpha wave based games. So there's a bunch of games that exist now that you actually control with your mind, because it reads your alpha waves, and you can actually, like, if you practice, you can understand how to control like how your brain releases alpha waves to control these types of games. So it's going to do something like that, is my guess.
Alpha wave.
But they also have done, it might also be motion based, because they've done TV. I remember there was a Harry Potter wand TV remote.
Okay.
And so it was motion controlled, and so you can use a wand and you'd be like, whoopah, 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 and it changes the fucking channel. But I can only imagine once that starts going wrong for you, you're like, no, just keep Expelliarmus.
And then it runs out of battery. Yeah. Then your wand runs out of batteries. And you're like, what the like, now I just have a stick.
I just got a wire in my wand.
Hardwired
this cord coming out on the back of the fucking thing. That'd be funny, though.
Well, that's what I was like thinking about, like batteries. Like literally, it's like I don't even know what it's like.
At least let's settle.
What
this.
Is something? It's like batteries are like anything with technology, anyways. Like they just continue to make shit that requires batteries, no matter what.
But when it comes to remote controls, when was the last time you changed your TV remote's batteries?
I don't even know.
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like,
at least it's that department. But you're right. Everything still requires a damn battery.
It's so crazy,
and it still requires power. And for this thing to do all the tech that it's running, because it's Bluetooth based, so you're burning that shit even faster.
And you're gonna have to plug it in. You gotta plug your hat in.
Hang on a second. I gotta plug my hat in. Maybe we could watch a different channel later.
I can't mind control my. I don't have a remote control besides my mind reader one, so I gotta charge it.
I already know that's gonna be, if I ever got this thing, that's gonna be the first thing that happens. It's like, let me put my hat on. Oh wait, I gotta plug it in. Hang on, it's gotta charge. Let me plug this in. Oh, did you want a drink? I'm gonna go get a drink real quick.
That's amazing.
But hey, that's what CES is for.
Love
it. The craziest technology there is.
Oh,
look who we got.
Look who it is.
Look who we got.
Look who it is.
What up, man? Happy New Year's.
What's up, George? Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Happy
swing that
New
mic
Year.
around, joining the convo.
Happy New Year.
Thanks.
Happy New Year. You got to see your seat over there. You good? He's here. He made it.
The Rock. The Puppet Master. The Thunder Lord.
Yeah.
2020 edition.
Don't get
How
him
you
out-
doing?
Don't get him too hyped up, man.
I know, right? Got him so hyped his cornrows came out. It's just hair again.
Yeah, man. I had to-
It's always hair.
yeah, true.
It's always hair, Sam.
Wrong word. Whatever.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What's up,
What's
man?
up, guys?
Well, you know.
Nothing, man. What's up with you? We're just doing a show.
You know, we got this little thing. It's called a podcast.
Yeah. My
Mhm.
bad, you know.
Generally, you're part of it.
Yeah,
Back in the cave.
You know, running a little late. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Good. How's that drive?
Oh, it was a bitch, but I made it.
Glad you did.
Yeah. So we were just talking about some just general nonsense that happened over the weekend with CES.
Amazon, some other bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you know. Talking about the presidential. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're not.
That's not here. That is not here. But hey, maybe we could shift over to a little bit of what you've been playing on. How about that, Rock?
Man, my little nephew just started playing Titanfall 2.
Hell yeah! Well, that was a free
So-
game last month.
Yep, I got
like,
it.
Me too.
He didn't even know about the free games. It just blew me away. Like, this fool only plays basketball, and he's been playing. He's been online for like a year now, and I'm like, dog, what about all the free games? You haven't got any of them? I showed him. He got Titanfall. He's in love with it. So it's pretty dope because I've been like playing games with him, and it's just funny because he only played basketball.
My roommate, my roommate just played through the Titanfall 2 storyline, and that is such a cool fucking story.
Oh, he plays Fortnite as well.
Nice.
He's good too. Like, he tripped me out. He was showing me all his little dub videos and shit.
nice.
And he only plays singles too. That's the crazy part. But
That's how you
Lone
get good
wolf,
at
that's cool.
That's how you get good at 40.
That is.
yeah,
When you got no one to rely on.
yeah.
No carries in that game.
But yeah, besides
Not
that,
bad, not bad.
I played. Yeah, I've just been playing that in some 2K. I played some 2K.
What year?
The new 2K20.
Oh, nice.
Played some 2K with them for a little while.
I feel like all my friends that play the 2K
I'm
games,
not buying it.
they buy it every other year,
I mean,
it's just like-
I'm tired of paying for that shit. man.
right? I don't
It's
know why
fun.
that's not like just a subscription and they just update it each year or
That's
something
how I
like
feel,
that
too.
at this
That-
point.
That is a genius move.
Well, let's just
They should
copyright
just-
that. You heard me, EA?
Yeah.
Well,
fucking
EA
should.
has that. If you are part of the EA,
I guess, yeah, but do you,
You
get
get
the
2K20?
next game?
Oh, not 2K, but like
That's
you
what
get
I'm
their
saying, is, like,
sports games.
Their sports games should
Yeah,
just be
it's-
a regular thing rather than like buy a new fucking game every single year where 90% of the game is
But the thing
still
is,
the same game.
the thing is that the world will buy it. I saw it. I saw
See,
it.
that's like most of those.
I saw it.
That is my favorite picture
I
of
saw
all
it.
time.
Glasses, glasses. They work for me. They work for me. They work. Now, you guys haven't seen
what I
that.
got.
If you haven't seen that Whitney and Bobby video, then it's a must see. Just Google Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston, glasses song,
It's
glasses
just a
song.
classic.
It'll come up, or Vegas glasses song, and it is just a fucking gem.
Them together in any video is
It's
a
fucking
shit
solid
show.
gold.
It is just classic.
And then just do yourself a favor, go on Spotify, Bobby Brown, Prerogative. You're welcome.
There you go.
And that's it.
Well,
That's it.
I
Show's
got-
over.
I got a classic. All right. I got a classic for you. You guys remember that game Anthem?
Stop hating.
Hey,
Oh,
you know
Sam
what,
has
though?
been spewing
I'll tell
hate
you.
already. He's
But I
just
have a
before the
reason
show even
for
started,
it.
dude.
I have a reason for that shit.
I didn't even
because
play it.
Man.
I told you I've been following the subreddits for it still. I've been following the
Have you
news
been
on it.
playing it?
Yes,
though?
I did.
And you
After
didn't-
our last episode, I went home. I downloaded it that fucking night because I was
downloaded
like,
it too.
you know what?
I downloaded
People were
it too.
talking Ice Tide event. They added all these updates. They fixed all this shit. People have been saying for like a couple months now. They're like, no, I'm actually getting drops again and everything. I played that game for hours. I got one legend. Wait, legendary's their yellow stuff, right? Whatever the top gear is, I got one in my hours of playing, and I was playing on Grandmaster 2 the whole fucking time. All the same exact fucking problems that persisted and why I got off the game last time. The weird glitches that occur occasionally. That was a little bit less, at least. Like, you know, when you would get to the end of a round and then it would like freeze up while you're trying to load out of it and then you wouldn't even get your stuff. At least that stuff didn't happen, but I didn't get shit. There was nothing new except for snow on the ground. Everything else was the same exact game with the same exact problems, with the same exact frame drops when you're trying to fight shit getting lit. It was all the same problems.
He's not happy. He's not happy.
I'm not.
I
deleted
the problems that you've had. Literally, I haven't had those problems with that game. Whenever I play it, I still have fun. It's just like
I could have.
There's none of my homies
is
playing it, so I
was an hour into it,
you know,
and I was playing it, and I was having fun. But the thing is that it was the same churn of problems, the same churn of a game. So like it was so I was the things that were fun. I was tired out on real quick.
This is the thing. They haven't made it new again. I guess like it doesn't have a good turnover, like to be like, oh, it's still fun playing consistently, but like to throw it in and get a couple hours in, dog, I don't have a problem with that. I fucking love the game still.
I get some of it for that,
but I can't sit there and act like, oh, I would play it daily. New gear
is still a ridiculous price.
Yeah.
New shit is ridiculous to get.
Well, just the thing that's going to be like that because there's not a lot of people playing. So the people who are grinding are going to be ones who have all the fly shit.
There ain't even really a lot of people working on the game because they're not doing regular patches and stuff so much on it anymore. They have hired new teams for a lot of the systems of that game because they're just basically closing off from that game. And rumor is they might even pull that game from server, like just kill the game entirely.
Oh my god, that would be insane.
Well, it's going on to year 2. It's going on year 2 soon, right?
Rebuild it. They want to try and do what they did to Final Fantasy 14 online. Like they want to try right now. It sounds like in everything I've looked at with the teams they've been hiring, the people they've been getting going on, is they're trying to rebuild that game and then reboot it and send it back to everyone.
Oh, well, that's dope. Yeah. I'd definitely be down for that.
But that means in 2 years, maybe we'll get it back, and it might be a good thing.
EA needs a game like that, not only on their PC side for their launcher. Like that's like what I talked about this in previous shows about Epic Games and the Epic Games launcher.
Yeah.
That Fortnite's success is leaked over into the launcher, where people are buying these games and then they're giving these free games. They have all these incentives, this stuff. But Fortnite is the foundation of that, right? Yeah. Right. It's the thing that keeps people to come into the, like,
it's
we say
the
that
lights on for them so they can work on
it's called the lost leader. Like, and they're not losing because they sell the skins, and that's like a dream come true. Mm-hmm. But like in retail, they call that lost leader. It's something that you have that everybody wants, that you sell it for a ridiculously cheap price, almost nothing, to get them in the door. Because once they're in the door, they're most likely going to buy something else, or they're going to spend some time browse around, and then that increases the chances on them maybe buying something on another visit.
One purchase leads to another.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Exactly. It's the same thing. And that's what's happening. And EA needs, like Apex, great. But what it is the game's always changing because they're trying to be competitive, so they're changing things about it that keep some players there, loses other players, gets new ones. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have that strong, super strong, like Fortnite, consistent, strong player base. It doesn't have that. And if EA can get something like that on their side, they can start to turn things around, because they are doing that with the games they're making, but they're not the games that are getting you to stay there. Anthem was supposed to be that game, long-term, free updates, years and years to come.
Buy the game once and you're going to get a bunch of things, but a microtransaction model so that you continuously...
It didn't work out.
But
So I believe that they want to get things right, and they want it to be Anthem, because it's too much to do that for a completely new IP. Now you do that with Anthem, you take the hit, you take the blow, you understand what you did wrong, make those changes, do it right, be transparent. We've seen games do this in the past.
All I'm saying is, like,
they can bring it back, but they are known for dropping.
Community complained.
They dropped Mass Effect to do Anthem.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out for them. That's another thing to note.
Fair.
Right?
But, so talking of, like, a lot of the drivers that caused so many people to leave that game It seems like they didn't attack them well. Like, take a look at the market of being able to buy things. You still have like 6 things you can buy a week.
That might be a core issue with this, how the game was designed, and it might be something why they can't really address it, and that's what they're realizing.
When you rewind,
but I understand what you're saying.
But when you rewind back to when they were first showing that game off, right before it launched in the days of the demo, you saw menus full of material types or patterns or all the graphics and all that shit of what you could unlock, and still I barely even have 1 page of shit that I can choose from. Still, they haven't released. It's like they haven't released all that stuff. It's like they made one bank of stuff for it, never made anything else, and just slow dripped that shit for 8 months now.
But this is the thing, though. I feel like they released the game early because people were begging for the fucking game. You guys got to remember. Am I wrong?
No, it was insane.
People were fucking
I was the one who got
shit.
sold on this game, and I hated it at first.
Early. They even said it. They feel like they had to do it, so they released the game early for sure, and people were happy with it. It just didn't have the replay value it needed because it wasn't a finished game. I feel like they sold us an unfinished game, but you know, we'll be good. Like,
but we're a year in, and where's the rest of that game? We got.
I mean, we don't.
The
know.
only thing they've added to that game, besides a winter event that's already gone, the only thing they added was one stronghold. Since that game came out,
true.
And they
one
told
stronghold.
They're actually, I think there's actually on the play-by-play, the calendar play-out, like how it's supposed to. There were supposed to be 2 strongholds.
There was supposed to be a shitload of stuff that came out. There were supposed to be guilds by now. There were supposed to be everything.
There were issues, and they said that everything.
Sam's been doing his homework.
Oh yeah, they pulled their entire calendar and said we can't do any of that, so it's all gone now. You guys enjoy what you got.
Yeah,
that game fucked itself.
I can't say it fucked itself. It was a good game. It just didn't hold up.
It's all opinions.
You
know, I like it. I like it. I re-downloaded it, and to be honest, I had the same feelings that Sam is having now already. And I'm glad that I didn't play it because it would have just actually probably made me just snap the disc instead of just leave it up there for the dust to collect on it.
Our last episode, I talked a lot of shit on this game, and I was like, you know what? It's been months and months, and I still follow all the news going on around it because I was the person that a year before the game came out, I was like, this thing's going to be fucking stupid, and it's not going to have a good end game. Yeah. And then they sold me through their advertising on something different. Following it, I was turned around on my opinion, and then they fucked me with the same thing that I was concerned about a year prior.
They really did.
They really did. And I chose between the Division 2 and this. I feel that I have just because of that, I feel based on my track with Anthem, I have a very, very solid opinion on this game. And the unfortunate thing is that opinion is this game is still in some garbage territory that we got half of a game.
That's crazy.
And then they promised all the stuff. They promised the other half of the game, and then they said, "Whoa, we can't even handle the half of the game we released, so we're just going to not make anything anymore." And
bruh, you gotta. Man, look how big this fucking game is, though, dog.
Okay.
It's
but
fucking
look
massive.
how big a lot of games are.
But I'm just saying, like, they bit off more than they can chew 100%. They still released a solid game. It just didn't have the longevity behind it that it was supposed to have. It was supposed to be like a Destiny type of game, but it just didn't have that appeal. It was like one of those games you buy, you beat, and you're done. You can still run around like Spider-Man. You know, but, at least Spider-Man's releasing fucking content on it.
Yeah, that's got DLC and missions and stuff.
If they just released some fucking missions and stuff that made sense, like to extend the story, I think people wouldn't be tripping as hard.
But
they didn't.
Exactly.
I know.
That's why I went back and tried this game again. That's why I put hours into playing this game over my winter break. And all I got out of it was the same level of disappointment, but I got there real fast rather than playing for a month first.
Yeah, honestly, I will honestly say 15 hours, 20 hours of Anthem was fucking awesome. Was fucking awesome, and then
after
it was
40 hours, and then when it started hitting its wall.
And then for me, I play repetitive games. I play Destiny, but Destiny has enough to it. Honestly, they needed if you were gonna bring Anthem in the state it was in, you needed a side co-op special mission or a multiplayer Crucible or not Crucible, but player versus player, something. It didn't have to be team deathmatch. It didn't have to be this. It could be races. It could be any of these things that was like a little other flavor.
Yeah.
Just
Honestly,
something.
a big brawl would have been
It's like,
dope as fuck.
you know,
dog.
it's like when the man versus food dude is like eating the fucking 20-pound hamburger and he's like halfway through and then he like puts in an order for fries. And they're like, why would he order fries? He's like, because I need something else. I need something else to get me to like this other thing again.
I've personally
You know what I mean?
done a burger challenge.
This guy's a
and I had to
psychopath.
take a break to
He's
eat
ordering
pickles.
fries. You're like, what? And he's like, eat some fries, and he's like, okay, I'll go back to the burger because it's like your mind. You no matter what you do, unless you like absolutely fucking love it and you're super passionate about it, which like people are about video games, but not just like for one video game that's hard. Like I'm like that for Destiny. Like I'll play it even when I'm fucking pissed off about everything that's happening in it. I'll still play it.
Hey,
but like Anthem was reaching for that level of success, which I think it could have, especially from what we've
and
seen.
it still can. It
But
still can
they
get
gotta
there.
release this shit.
They got to release it. They got to figure out whatever the core issues are. Because like you can't say the servers are overloaded and that too many people are playing anymore.
But with how much
and
they
still have the
pulled
same
back,
issues.
then they should have. With how much they pulled back on that game, so they can start over, they can close down their little group to try and reshape what this game can be. Then they should have dumped everything they already had developed out for everyone, rather than slow drip feed the shit. Still, the game still looks beautiful. My character looks beautiful. None of that, like, it feels so naturally
Honestly,
Iron Man
I feel
to
like
fly
it looks
around in that
better.
game. But none of that was my problem with the game. It was what I was doing while I looked like that and did all that mattered.
It was just-
And that didn't fix that. Now, they did add one thing. They added melee class so that you can actually get another weapon. It wasn't just like your triangle that was your melee attack. Now you can actually get other melee weapons, but it's still double blades for the the Inceptor, the quick one. It's still just double blades. It's just that one of them does poison damage, or like one of them does like this. So it's still just the same melee weapon with a slightly different attribute. But again, they're starting to go in it. They like, again, try to be like, we're doing stuff for you guys, but we're gonna do 1 inch, but tell you we're going a mile. And then they're never gonna release anything else.
This is the issue with me, like with the game. I think it's a great game, and I just feel like it didn't have a good end game. But
that was made to be an end game game.
I can't count it out yet because there's nothing out. It's just the same shit. They haven't done anything, and I enjoyed the game when I bought it. Like, and I still like it when I go back and play. I can't play as many hours as I did when I first got the fucking game because it was fresh and new. But now it's kind of repetitive, but at the same time, I still play. I play with that fool Ants all the time. Whenever this fool hits me up, he'll call me like, yo, you down to play some Anthem? I'm like, fuck it, I'll play a couple hours of Anthem with you, but then that's it. We'll get one of those in and then like maybe a week later do it again. But
yeah, but it's like dating a pretty girl who's addicted to meth. Sure, she looks good on the outside, but the
her
rest of
teeth
it
are
is
falling
trash. Am I right? Am I right?
hey, man, I've never dated a meth.
I haven't either, but you know what? It doesn't take much thought to realize that they're both the same thing.
If they're anything like those dudes, then I get it.
My Inceptor looked dope. I could make it look cool and dress it up how I wanted, and I could fly it around how I wanted. But the thing is that it was still doing nothing for a life. It was still just going out and flying around and shooting the same fucking bug 18
update to happen
times.
where there's shit to do, dog. I'm like super happy where I'm at in the game. I'm wishing that I could finally max my character
Now
out.
all you need is something to do.
Yeah, if you let me max my character out, I'll grind. But for
Serious,
But
God,
even
like
though,
that was
I
so
played
crazy.
for hours, and I got so little quality gear, because this is a game where, like, congratulations, you reached the purple tier of gear, and now you're getting all purple drops. But the problem is all those purple drops are bogus because you already have your purple gear. Now you need orange gear.
Yeah.
And then you need yellow gear. So it's still just that same problem of, like, everything I pick up, 99% of it is garbage. And the problem that, like, the 1% that I need never shows up still.
I don't like
They
how...
say they fixed that, but my hours of playing on the difficulty to earn legendary gear, I didn't get no legendary gear playing on Grandmaster 2 for that whole fucking time.
And honestly, that shit's brutal. Like, playing that many hours on that level is brutal. Like, it's a lot of bullshit that crashes off and it pisses you off. Like, So I get where you pissed, but I don't know, dog. I'm just waiting for the update to happen.
I
That
think
game
also
can go
that
through some rehab
I'm
and
playing
clean
other
itself
stuff.
up, but it's still addicted to meth right now.
yeah, I
I'm sticking
honestly
on that analogy.
I honestly think that what Rocky has a great
He has a great idea of what it can
he
be.
has a great outlook or perspective because of the way how he plays video games. Like, for instance, even when we were hardcore into Destiny 2, he still wasn't like I would be going nuts for things and like super grinding this or that. He'd still be like, oh yeah, whatever. Oh, I like
Hop in
this
and
gear, so I'm gonna go for that. Like, there's things that he is willing to grind for. There's things that are not. Like, he just doesn't. When we're like still
Trying to complete all the challenges.
and we're going after weird things, little weird loadouts, this or that. You know what I mean? Where we're seeking something else from
The
it. Like, he's like that with
completionist side
Division.
of it.
Like, when I play Division with him, it's like reverse. I'm like, hey, yo, what should I be equipping? Like, what sets am I looking for? This or that. You know what I mean?
He's got it all, and you got like every mask and shit.
Yeah, and so Anthem, I think, is just more of like he was saying. It's just more of the casual pick up and put down for him in that mode where we were kind of looking for that replacement or something that we could supplement.
I swear to you,
know what I mean?
I had
do
big
understand
hopes for that game.
No,
I
and I
wanted
do-
it to
no,
be
I'm-
the game killer where it killed everything, and it
was supposed to be the
deliver.
Destiny
I'm saying
killer.
I
Yeah, it
do
just didn't
understand
deliver.
it for that image, but nothing about what they say that game is that. Nothing about and what they say that game is not what that game is. And so it's just like how many feet can you put in your mouth? Like, they are just putting their own foot in their mouth with this, like, we made this
So
game to
many
be this,
feet.
and they didn't. And they did not at all. And they're like, no, we fixed this and made it like this, and they did not at all. And then they're like, we made an update and put it like this.
And they didn't. And they did not at all.
You sound
Sorry.
like that
No,
shit?
we fixed this and made it like this.
Sorry.
And they
No, it's all good, but hey.
Sorry, dude, it just
That-
came
that's
in.
worth
It came in
repeating.
perfect at that time. I
my
know.
own hype man is me.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Just
anyways,
had to-
we don't need to tread on that game. I'd love
Oh, I
for
love
them
it.
to come out with something. And
I'm just
gonna
make it a
it's
weekly
supposed to be.
segment, dude.
But right now,
I'm gonna make this
it's deleted.
Anthem a weekly. This
I
is
ain't gonna
probably the
download
best,
it
some of the best
again.
content we've had in a while. you guys just chat over that.
but
So
hey,
I think
let's,
we're just
let's
gonna make
compare
that.
it to right here. What you just got, Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's a game that started in a real shitty place.
at the same
a year
time-
later, they fixed it.
But nah, they really didn't. Like, I played this shit. It's still an alright game. Like, I like it.
I got it for $12. It's great for $12.
For
That's
$12, dog, it's a great
Right,
fucking game
right,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah,
For
dude, that's a fucking
$60,
still.
You're right.
$60, it
Right.
wasn't worth it. Still.
Right, you're right. I believe
For
that.
12 fucking bucks though, I would have got that. Like,
I believe
for
that.
sure.
And the problem with Battlefront 2 was that in the
I
beginning,
slept on
it
that
wasn't
shit.
a $60 game. It was a $60 game, and then you wanted to spend more because it was a very monetized game. But then they removed that. They addressed the community issues, and granted, it's a game that's more for dabbling. It's a game
Well,
more to like
that's what I was
hop in
about
and
to
hop
say.
out and hop in and hop out.
Well, they have a campaign on this one.
They
Yeah.
do.
They do. So it has that little part where you'll get it no matter what, even if you don't like how the rest of the game plays.
But a lot of it is
So,
like,
like,
I want to
you know.
go live in Star Wars for a few hours and then be done with it for a week.
Right.
That they did a good job, I think, of reshaping that to be that.
Yeah.
But Anthem was never meant to be that.
I don't know.
It's just
man.
what it
It's
became.
Like, I can't even compare the two games though. Like, you can't compare the game. You could, like, the closest shit you can compare it to where it fell short is Destiny. It fell short of Destiny, and Destiny's such a fucking great game.
And I'll
fell
tell
short
you-
It's like-
by fucking.
I have a
I
friend
just
who
feel like it's going to always be in Destiny's shadow because Destiny is really just that fucking game.
and
Like,
I,
if
I'm
Bungie
so
wants to
happy
make
for a couple of my friends that
multiple
started
millions of
playing it.
dollars right now, all they need
Yeah,
to do. No, all they need to do is re-release Destiny 2 or Destiny 1 with upgraded graphics
Right.
and put it on PC.
I can see that.
If they put Destiny 2 on PC for $45 or $50, we'll just say something high that you wouldn't normally do a game like that. $50. Every single person that plays Destiny 2 on PC will purchase Destiny 1. And they will
start
all be
playing
playing
one
on
all
and they
over
will
again.
all be playing on that.
I agree.
Straight up.
I have
agree
multiple
100%.
friends who,
Like-
over this winter break, started
So-
playing Destiny on a new light, Destiny 2. They are fucking loving it. They are having
The core-
It's going so good for anyone who just started.
The
playing.
core of that game, the story is so solid.
Oh man.
Okay, like even though like let's just take out the weird little parts because that you won't understand totally if you don't play all of it and like stay up to date with the some of the stuff that you're not going to really like understand. Because it is a giant story. All of it that adds up is in some way tied to something that has already happened that you've read some lore tab or something of. So like they do a really good job at that. Yeah. But they do kind of make it kind of spotty. But if you're just like, okay, I just want a mild story. I don't want to have to look into too much stuff for it, and a quality, looking
and a
playing
beautiful fucking game.
Right. Then it's that's the recipe.
Oh,
their shortcomings come with the end game. That's where Destiny or Bungie messed up too. And they had whatever partnerships to blame, this or that to blame. Yeah. Sometimes Bungie just absolutely makes bad decisions. That's not a problem. That's not a problem because they're usually what comes with what they've learned from making bad decisions is it needs to be followed up by a bunch of really good decisions. Yeah. And that those decisions don't have to be as big as the bad one, but it's important that you let people know we are making things better because we're listening to you or this or that or whatever. We're talking about Anthem and how they fell short of the stuff. Bungie has fallen short as well with Destiny 2 and still currently is. Mm-hmm. The Crucible literally hasn't been touched in over a year by development teams. They do the labs. One of the biggest
things about their Crucible, that's the trials.
It's not even
still
existent.
Just like what's happening, and factions are still not even existent.
Right, I got so many faction coins, player.
But
I got so many factions
in their original places, like in the in the tower. Aren't those
I don't
guys
know
still
if they are.
out
If
there?
they are, I need to go turn in some motherfucking coins.
You can't.
Oh no, you can't do anything with them. You're just standing.
So
there.
I got, like I said, I got so many coins.
But for
it's ridiculous.
Because I remember even like early Destiny for us playing and talking about the game regularly. One of the things was we were always, at the breach. We were at the end of what you can do in that game, and then they would release something, but that's all that's new that we get is whatever they just added. But now being like these friends that are getting onto a new light, you have what feels like a very full world. You have that. I think a lot of those problems have been fixed just because of the fact that they've had time and they've been able to put all this stuff in the game periodically. The thing is that we were just always at that forefront. But for people who are just getting in now, they have an incredible amount of game ahead of them to get into that by the time you finish it all, you got your money's worth, especially because most of the game is free. But also, when it comes to Destiny, it's been 2 years since I played the vanilla campaign, and I still remember exactly how dope it was.
I gotta run it
to be
again
running
with my
on a
fucking
spaceship
nephew, dog.
that's trying to absorb the sun.
Ugh.
Remember that? Remember like you're in front of the sun, running on like this giant ship.
Yeah.
And that was like I still remember that
so good.
vividly, and it was amazing.
I literally ran the campaign fucking 40 times. Like
me too. We ran it then, and then like I remember when we ran it, we ran it with 3 characters, and then like somebody didn't like. Maybe I think it was maybe you, Rock, that you didn't run it with one of your characters. Maybe it was like the Titan or something.
We also had Manny,
Warlock.
So we were jumping between
you're Warlock, and you're like, I still got to beat the last mission. So we beat the last mission, and they're like, all right, let's get you, because now you can do all the stuff for the end game. Let's get you going on that and get these like higher gear. And the story mission that we had to do was the last mission for the boss. So it's like we just beat it, and then like that week's story mission was that same level.
Yeah,
and I was just like, God damn it! And then we had to go do that for the Dawning for the gear for that.
And
so we had to
I
go
guess
redo
that is a good problem that came with Destiny was they recycled assets or levels or like when
they
you play a level and
but
it
your
becomes
reward
the
was
strike
different.
Was a weird thing.
That's what I was gonna say.
But the strikes became difficult, and then the strikes within the strikes they lie the ritual and pinnacle weapons.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm doing the same thing, grinding over and over again. One, it teaches you how to run the strike for efficiency. So when you run a Nightfall, you know the patterns.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. Like that's how Destiny 1 was too, and Destiny 2 really had that naturally ingrained with it, so it made it those were like the things that I was talking about when we first started talking about Destiny 2 is the natural things that come with the game that make you start to look past the negative things where you're still like, oh yeah, like I can still play this. Even though this is like Crucible is shit. If you're a Crucible only player, like you should just quit playing Destiny.
Play Call of Duty. Play a different
like I swear to
multiplayer
God.
game.
It's toxic.
I swear to God. It's so bad. And then like right now it's just ridiculous. But it's the point is that
Destiny gave me
it's not a PvP game. It has that in it because it's Bungie
Yeah.
and they made Halo.
Yeah.
So they got that in there because they're good at that.
But Destiny gave me way more reasons to rerun a Strike or a Nightfall or a Raid than Anthem gave me to rerun a Stronghold.
And honestly,
and once you get to the end game of Anthem, all you have are Strongholds.
That's the problem, dog. I feel like you only had Strongholds.
Exactly.
And they weren't worth it.
The thing is that because Anthem didn't have like reasons to, or like methods to unlock things, it's not like you hunted something down to get a specialty weapon.
What
No,
are those
everything was
purple
random
missions
drop.
called?
Everything was random drop.
and you only got two of those, the two missions that you could do.
Oh, those legendary
hated that.
contracts
I
that
hated
were
that.
just
But-
garbage.
but
Those were
they-
just garbage.
But
though.
at least you got better gear.
But
Like
no,
you got way better
all the
rolls on
gear-
those. That's why I only did
you got
those.
some cool
Yo, homie,
rolls,
we couldn't
but
even
the gear was still all random drop.
we couldn't even farm those.
I
If
know.
I had one and you had one and you had one and you chose yours, it took one from all of us.
Yeah, I know.
Stupid.
I know.
Let us farm those. That was
Yeah.
a big thing. Remember, there
Yeah,
people
the
were like,
farming was
we're like, dude, if
oh.
you have so many different roles for so many different weapons, let us get a higher drop rate of them. That's how this works.
And to me, that wasn't fixed appropriately
No.
still. And the thing is that it's not like you're running this
Remember
stronghold
the-
to try and get this
the
drop.
one day,
No,
the
everything's
one day,
random.
the one day they fucked up their system and the drops were crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
that was the best
everybody
day in
reported
Anthem ever.
reported they had the most fun.
That was the only day everyone was having fun in Endgame Anthem, was the day they accidentally
Dude,
let
yeah.
people get shit.
But that
Right.
should let you know right there, like they.
I mean, all they have to do is flick that
Release
switch
the loot.
and the switch to let everyone just buy any of the stuff out of the market, and then there's a reason to go back to Anthem until they fix the game.
The way I think they tried to go to Destiny with their marketplace, and then it's not even enough shit to even do that.
Everybody
Exactly.
hates the Destiny marketplace,
But
by the
Anthem
way. They
managed to
hate
do it
Destiny.
worse.
It fell off?
Anthem managed to do it
so,
worse.
So now you don't get. So now I'll show you. I'll just show you. We'll just show you. But basically,
Anthem's-
go ahead.
Anthem's marketplace was the equivalent of Xur, and that's it.
Zer's still a bitch. Zer's still a bitch.
What?
Exactly.
Straight up.
And that's all
guy,
Anthem has for a
dog?
fucking marketplace.
What?
Yeah, but when you're 3 years in,
Xur doesn't
Xur
give
a
you
hoe.
anything anymore unless you're just starting to play. the
Zero
game.
ho, and they're not even random rolls, and they're not called whatever. They're called fucking whatever something else because it only gives you from some odd years. Zer's all fucked up, dog. They don't know what to do with Zer. They might as well just get rid of them like they did the fucking factions.
Oh
None
my
of it,
God,
nothing's safe. Apparently, Cade's dead. We ain't got no factions. Saint 14's back though.
But is Cade gonna come back then?
They're
they'll
like
bring Cade back?
begging. Everybody's begging for a timeline.
They might as well.
Aldrin. We still don't know. We got
He's
the video of
just
him being rezzed from a ghost. A ghost rezzed him, and if he
Jeez.
killed Cade, he's supposed to become the new Vanguard, Hunter's Vanguard. But no one knows where he's at or what he's doing or anything else. Because
No.
that's the
But
deal.
imagine like that's who everyone now goes and reports to and plays, the guy everyone hates the most, and he's now your boss.
Yeah, that.
But they hated him before he was a Guardian.
Oh man,
They hated him before he was a Guardian.
interesting.
Fuck that.
Interesting.
He's a bitch.
I think so too.
Look at this guy's hunter.
But also, like, take a look. So,
Jesus.
Destiny, you have these Bife videos that
Oh,
there's
yeah, we got
like,
that hard
you know,
960.
hundreds of hours of content of Bife videos going into how deep the lore is in Destiny. Anthem, you couldn't do that.
Oh, and you can make your guys look so dope now in Destiny 2. Like they've really
Yeah.
there's some glaring issues still. Like the content runs out really fast because of their new release style.
Yeah.
So it goes by the season-based stuff, where it is like you can kind of pace it yourself and get a good pace and still do everything.
Yeah.
A lot of problems with people because the normal behavior for playing Destiny is to fucking jump in and just grind.
Yeah.
So the content runs fast if you play like that.
Yeah.
So you can pace yourself a little bit slower Or you do what I do and you play other games. But like this is still the go-to. I love it no matter what. I'm not
This
saying
is the
anything.
core.
I'm not saying anything bad when I say that. Like we all know it's issues, this or that, but you got to just understand that Bungie's even own statement was like, we want to do things better, but we realize that when we overwork ourselves, we do things worse. So let us work at this pace.
Yeah.
And provide you with solid stuff. So when the content actually initially releases, it's up to you whether your pace. And then if you're one of those guys that ran through it and they're like, oh, there's nothing to do. It's like, well, we gave you a season's worth of shit and you did it in 3 weeks because you're a fucking nutcase.
And
But
still,
look how full the
And
map is.
go
only the
see a
people-
fucking psychiatrist.
and those are the people who are in our positions. The
Like
people,
shit, dude.
Those are really only that core community that have been at
They're
the forefront
hardcore.
of Destiny as soon as it's down.
They
Anyone who just started playing Destiny has a humongous game ahead of them.
Bungie created
Anthem-
these people.
Anyone who just
They
downloads
created
Anthem for the
them.
first time now, they've got just as much game as I did last March. They've got just as much game.
Hey man, get off of them, dog.
Hey,
we on
but-
Destiny now.
right.
Man.
Well, I-
leave
look-
Anthem
Well, yeah,
alone,
yeah.
Let
bro.
me.
What was I saying? I was gonna show
I
you.
got some
Yeah,
hate.
right.
I gotta get it out.
I feel it. I feel it. I can't even say shit. I'm just saying. God damn.
Nah, you know what? I've played plenty of other games this holiday. I've been playing a lot of indie games. It's fun.
Last day of the dawning
I
event.
want to take a look at something. I'm trying to remember who made that game. Remember One Strike?
Yeah.
Remember how much I like that? It's One Strike is this awesome little indie game on Switch. It's probably on other things too, but everything.
Are you saying you like that more than Anthem?
No.
I was about to leave.
But no, they did.
Well, you almost
that
lost a
company,
friend
That
today.
developer did something really cool over the holiday break. They did a 12 Days of Christmas. Now, One Strike is a very small
Isn't
indie
that just
game.
Hanukkah?
There's only 7 characters. Yeah, it was this year. One Strike is a game that has 7 characters, and it's a fighting game where
That was a joke.
everything is a one-hit kill. Sorry,
That was to
I know. I was already like
the
on a track of a
world.
statement.
No, that was to the
Um,
world. That was an apology to the world,
What?
not to you guys.
So One Strike was this cool game that's like a fighting game where everything is one-hit kills. It's built around, but it's a small game. I bought it for $1. This company that developed that, they develop a lot of these games that are only a few bucks, but a lot of the time they're on sale for $1. They had a new game release over the holiday break called Space Pioneer. I actually bought it for $5. I had a lot of fun playing through it for a little while, but at a point it starts to get repetitive. They did a special where over their 12 days of Christmas, they did one of their games was free every single day. So if you were following it, you could get all 12 of their games, or 12 of their best games, including One Strike, including Mana Spark, another one I play. All of them were free one day, each one a different day.
Did you
And
get 'em
then
all?
if you did all 12 days, right afterwards was when they released Space Pioneer, and if you downloaded them all, you got Space Pioneer for free. So
Oh,
if
you
you were
didn't
there
get
for
'em all?
I didn't get them all. I have a friend who did though. And so, but if you were there and you got each game for free, you got an extra game for free that released over the holiday break. I thought that was just a super dope little thing that they did.
So this is how they do it now.
Let's see that shuffle card. My bad. Let's just see what it's about over there.
So this is how they do it now. I might buy this shit.
Let's see the card shuffle.
I
Let's
might.
see that.
What?
Let's see the card.
Oh, this the
Let's see
card shuffle. How do I preview it?
Can you preview? Yeah, there you
Yeah,
can
here we
preview.
go.
Okay, cool. Oh, he's got the tricks. He's got the flip.
That would literally just make me an asshole for no reason.
I want to learn to be able to do that with
He
cards,
sends
though.
it back. This one's.
Oh damn!
Oh, he's
Bust
got.
the move, dog. Fuck him up. I know you getting that, dog. Ain't no way in hell you passing that up.
Come on, that
No,
jump
that's my
kick move?
point. I can't just get that.
No, these are things.
Oh,
you
they
It's
make
cost
you
for
break
silver.
right
Exactly.
now?
It's all changed. That's what I'm
So-
telling you. So wait, hold on.
What?
Let me get into this. So now they have a bright dust column. Bright dust doesn't drop from any items at all. Okay. The only way to get it, and also the only way to get the fond memory engrams, which is still, to my knowledge, it's called the fond memory engram because it's an
old
engram
stuff.
from old stuff. Okay. Okay. So the only way to get the engrams, remember we used to focus on this bar right here.
Yeah.
Right? This bar would fill up.
And then
we'd
you'd get an
an
engram.
engram. We'd get a test drop. Okay. Now we have seasons
I like how
where
they
we
included
have a
Triumph
season battle pass essentially.
Yeah.
And I only get them. The XP is ridiculous, and by the time you're at level 48, I need to be getting 1,000 times more than I was at level 13. I'm at 16, and I look like here's the other thing how this shit works. It doesn't collect the stuff for you. So like
You have to go there to get it.
Yeah. So
Go
my
ahead,
ass. So my ass. My last season, I probably left half of this thing. Not. I didn't acquire the stuff from
And
it.
you can't even go back and click it?
I have no idea if it did. I don't have no idea. I didn't even think about it
Yeah.
because I don't pay attention to this shit because I am an OG Destiny player, not this Destiny player.
Yeah.
Hey, but let's get that
Not a
thing.
Fortnite
Let's check
Destiny
this
player?
out. Let's see what they got in there,
right,
buddy.
right. So it's like, so this is how I got to get. So let's look at it. Let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, it says it right there.
I know. I know everyone can count.
I can just read.
Okay.
it.
13 levels
Before you get the first one.
before I get the first one. Oh, and you also get a legendary with that. Something I already have a fucking 1,000 of.
One's the free tier, one's the season tier. To clarify for everyone.
You see what I'm saying? So there's like these. There's
Hey.
tons of problems.
If you
okay?
go back to 9, you left something
It's
on the...
you have to
Left
relearn
something on 9?
Destiny
8, my
mechanics.
bad.
Hey,
It's like
I can't even get it. I can't get it because
No, no,
look,
spit.
this just it's stuff that I have so much of. It's
Too
amazing.
much.
And when you buy the pass, the season pass, they give you the automatic, the exotic of the
of the season.
Season?
Like, they just give you one.
yeah.
Ugh.
So they did that last time, which was
What is it? The
Ariana's
Symmetry.
Valve. This thing is sick. This thing is fucking
Reload to
badass.
swap firing
Yeah,
modes.
I will
Is
show
it
you.
like
I will
semi
show you.
versus
No, it seeks. It's seeking. It's a scout rifle that has seeking plasma blast.
Oh,
God. That
Yeah.
just sounds cheap.
It's so cheap. It's so cheap. But no, but
this
like
is a PvE
also
game too.
also
so
they introduced new. I think we might have gone over this.
every gun breaks PvP.
But now they have the elemental capacitor, which
Yeah, we talked about that.
this
shit
was.
was
Yeah,
tight.
we talked about that. Yeah, so we
That
talked about
shit's
that.
tight.
But the new season came out. We didn't go over some of the stuff in that. So we'll look at that. But do you see what I'm saying with like the Eververse and how that works? So now you're not even going to see this bitch at all, unless you're breaking bread. You know what I mean?
Somebody breaking bread. He's
So-
right there like, yeah,
So
to break the bread.
ooh, we got the wind chill. What is this? The Reef and Ruins ornament for the. What gun was that for? Couldn't see it. Should we get this? What else do they have
Go
for
to that
Bright
ship.
Dust? What else do they have for Bright Dust? I already have
oh,
this.
you can get that, but you can get
Oh,
that
I got
Busted
Bust a Move. I can get them both.
It's only 700.
I can get them both.
Man, I'm gonna go log into Destiny just so I can get that right now.
Get that shit, dog.
Oh, you know I'm getting
What up?
it. What's this? How much this could be costing?
Look at
28.
preview at first. It might be dog shit.
That's
Yeah.
that's a
a
gingerbread
house.
That's
A
dog
gingerbread
shit,
shell?
dog.
That's dope.
You like that?
Christmas is over, so
I
no.
want to see what is that. I want to see that ship.
I don't. I just want to buy it. Yeah, I'm
That's
buying
tight.
it.
That looks
I'm
fly.
buying it.
That's tight as fuck.
Put a 6 shader on that.
Ooh, yeah, I like that thing. Was that some malachite gold you
Ooh.
put on for a second there?
No, they have so many different
Oh,
shaders
nice.
now.
I like the malachite gold one. I remember it was a good green and gold combo.
Hey, got that dead orbit camo though. Holler at a
Hey,
player.
I
you can
got
print them all
so
you
much
want.
of that,
That's
dog.
one thing that
Holler
they
at
did
a
give you.
player.
It's not too expensive to reprint
Oh,
any of these shaders after you get it
Niners.
once.
Niners.
See, that's tight though.
Niners got that easy route. Sorry.
That was the thing they did good in this was when they made it just easy to like kind of reprint anything you've already gotten.
That's pretty flashy.
Most of it, at least, especially the cosmetic type shit.
Oh yeah.
But like, probably what is it? Calluses something. The one that
Callus
was like
Select.
white, purple, and gold. That one.
Callus Select. The
First,
best.
that was a vanilla
You
shader.
put that on
is
every-
still the
every
best.
weapon.
Oh yeah, all my best stuff got that Calluses selected,
Premium treatment.
and I think that's still one of the best shaders in this game, probably.
Just hit 'em with the-
not
hit 'em
to
with
get
the-
off subject, but
Hit them with the honors of the 9.
but I'm sorry, dog. Titanfall is still competing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great.
Still is.
Absolutely.
But
100%.
goddamn, After all this time, I thought they would need
Damn,
to drop
look at
a 3.
Look at
It's
this
snow
transmat.
movement.
They just-
Transmat
The
entrance.
snowman.
That's pretty tight.
I like it.
Usually they're too fast to even tell what it is,
Yeah.
but that's awesome.
Titanfall 2 is a phenomenal game. It still holds up. It's still, to
I'm
me,
just
it's one of the
shocked.
best multiplayer PvPs because of how they've got the scaling of the pilots versus the Titans, and like having a Titan basically as your ultimate, but you can still, as a pilot, take down a Titan. And on top of it, the level design was what really seals it for Titanfall, because the levels are so well designed to incorporate tiny pilots and humongous Titans.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree.
Right? So good, so clean.
And it never leaves you just out with your ass in the air, dog.
Yeah, and then
No
like
matter how many Titans drop, like you can
do something.
Yeah.
You can spider your
You
ass
can-
away around with your like unlimited wall runs. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's just
and-
like jump, boost, wall run, jump, boost, wall run. It's so much fun.
Yeah, dog. And you can work these motherfuckers over like you
Also-
can take out a Titan.
I felt more ninja in Titanfall than probably any other game.
I agree.
So then also, do you see how like the
Yeah, so
new
this element
2.0?
about things.
So,
So this
yeah.
is the Armor 2.0 here.
So
of,
you have to
like-
get the energy up.
but it gives you a reason to really level up your gear for sure.
Well,
'Cause-
no, but then it gives you the reason to isolate one set of gear
yeah,
instead of having all these different
Yes.
ones. And then you can go in and like get more specific even.
I think Armor 2.0 was a big
and
success for that.
choose what you want it to look like
Yep. I think this
completely.
Armor 2.0 was an amazing change to the Destiny 2 platform.
Oh, so you could actually
It's-
you could take your dead orbit gear
So,
and take it to like and put it on that.
well, it's like anything that was the stuff you got from
because
Test Eververse.
dead orbit won't show up.
It's-
No gear will show up.
it's
It's
the
2.0
Eververse
because it
gear.
has to be.
No, oh, I'm saying, but the 2.0 gear, I thought you could just throw.
It's
Oh,
not
okay, I'm
anything. It's
taking it wrong.
remember the
Okay.
Eververse gear, what you would always get it at 10 light.
Yeah,
But we can
Anything that was
drop.
Eververse gear is now like a transmat, or
We
sorry, not
can
transmat, a
drop.
transmog thing. So like any arm piece,
We
you
can
could make
drop
look like
dead
any
orbit
of the
gear.
Eververse arm pieces.
We
So
can
those
drop
are the
dead
items
orbit
that are
gear.
that.
oh.
Yeah.
So
But
we
then
can
also-
drop all the dead orbit gear at a higher rate. Would it be 2.0 at that point?
It will.
That's a pretty big deal right there.
It will.
Did they updated
So
old shit?
no, let me see. Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not an update. It leaves it blank,
Mm.
and then you put everything on it. So it's just Armor 2.0. Or maybe you have to reacquire it. Maybe you have to
I don't know.
reacquire it.
See, can you print it?
I can't print that.
Not that one, but the previous one you could. Anything that's random roll, you won't be able to reprint still. But like that anti-extinction set, you can print. Is that
Reacquire. I can reacquire the anti-extinction.
isn't
set.
that dead orbit stuff?
Yeah, that's dead orbit.
All right. You gonna make one of those?
I'm gonna remove. Oh, let's
I don't
do-
know. That's pretty expensive
Let's do
for
that.
your infinite funds.
Oh, I only have
Five legendary shards out of your $2,000.
that number. I've literally tried to spend them on everything.
Oh, man.
And
It's
it never goes
it's
away.
Like you
and
No
I have
Man's
so
Sky
many,
all over again.
and I have so many to just recycle in my thing. I'm
Dutch,
just so lazy.
in almost every single video game we play, you are the richest person in that game. It's great. No Man's
That's
Sky
how I
was the
play.
epitome of that.
Yeah, that
It
was
so funny. Where you're like, yeah,
I'm
man,
just
I
like,
got
do you
ships.
want millions?
I'll leave this
That's
ship on this
straight up what
planet
the
because I got
squad
a
told
freighter
me.
full
I will
of
give
ships.
you
This
millions.
was do you want millions? Just like that. And I'm like, what the
You
fuck?
want me
are
to
talking
make
about?
you
He
a
was like,
galactic
don't worry,
millionaire?
dog.
You want to be rich? Here you go, man.
He was like, here,
Do you want
Don't
to be
worry
a
about it.
galactic millionaire?
go
right
sell
now?
these. I sold him, was like, oh,
man.
shit.
Yeah, I know. I loved it.
And then, and
What
wait,
did I
first
just
he's
get?
like,
I
wait a
can't
minute, wait,
remember.
There it
don't
is.
sell them here. I've already exploited this place.
Nope.
So yeah, okay.
Nope.
So this is still limited
Yep,
to Armor
still-
1.0.
Yep. Can't be
there you
reacquired
go.
in the new season, so
You can
or can't
reacquire
be
it, but
in
it's
the-
useless.
in the world.
That's something that I guess is
So
still a
it's
lingering
useless.
thing with
That
Destiny 2
just-
is
God damn.
I still
old
do that.
shit becomes
I
useless
still do that.
if it's pre-Armor 2.0, but
Yeah.
Armor 2.0 stuff
It's way better.
is like once you get over that hump, yeah, they
Oh.
fixed a lot
Oh yeah,
of
let's
shit.
go talk to this. Let's go talk to the Saint 14 player. Show you
I'll
guys
say
where he's at.
there's a new game I bought today.
What is it called?
It's on Switch. You remember Rogue Legacy?
Yeah.
So Rogue Legacy was a one of those, rogue dungeon crawlers that we had a lot of fun playing. We played it early on in our show.
I had a joke,
Um,
but I felt like it was just for no reason, so I didn't say it.
Oh, good. You want to try it anyway?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, kind
Ooh,
of.
that was
I got a
perfect.
game by them, the same Cellar Door Games that came out
Look at
a
this
little
fool's-
over a year
look
ago.
at this fool's walk
His
up.
setup is ridiculous.
Hey, but look at
Right?
this though.
This fucking
Look
like,
Look at this.
God, this gaudy
Why,
ass.
why does he have a Trials of Trials of Osiris banner?
Ooh.
Because maybe
Rug, actually. You walk all
That's
over
what
that
they're
shit.
saying.
Mm.
This is
And there
this is
he
all
is,
trial stuff,
the
and he's
man
been on
himself.
Mercury.
Anyways, so I got this game, Full Metal Furies.
So this one wasn't dead, or did he just get revived?
We can't let Sam finish, and then we'll get into that.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
get
yeah.
this going.
It's all good. So I've started playing this game today, and I've been having a lot of fun. It's an action RPG, but it's by that Cellar Door Games who made Rogue Legacy,
Okay.
and it's called Full Metal Furies, and it's like
Well, it looks tight.
it's a ton of fun. I'm stuck like this is a boss fight right here, so I can't progress or change anything right now until I do that fight. But it's like you got
Well,
4 different
go ahead
character
and say it.
types.
Let's see it.
I'll show you in a bit.
Offer
I can't really show it on the stream anyway
Uh,
right now. But it's like you got 4 different character types. One's a sniper. One's an engineer. One's a tank that uses a shield. One's a all melee fighter, and it's a very very fun like Castle Crashers-esque game. But it's like specifically for classes. You build up each character. You could play online or local couch co-op, or the way Switches can just like ad hoc connect to each other and create their own networks. You can play multiplayer any of those ways. Or if you play it one player, they do this dope thing where you pick 2 of the classes and you have a button to switch between them whenever you want. So you create your own combos and shit out of that. $7 right now on the Switch market. Totally fun. Huge map so far of like you're going around and fighting a bunch of Titan gods. I don't know. It's a fun little game, but $7 of totally worth it so far, and I just started playing it. That's really on that. But Full Metal Furies
well,
by Cellar Door Games.
well, play it, Sam. You've got it right here.
Well, we learn about Saint 14.
It's more learning about Osiris.
Here, wait. I'll do the
I'm not like Shax. Shax is like me. Shax sounds like me. Weird ass Osiris.
Is that what he said?
He says that. There's for some reason he says no. Oh Lord,
Saint
no.
doesn't say that.
Lord Saladin says that.
Saladin
Or
says that,
Osiris
yeah.
says that. Who says that?
Saladin.
Oh
He
yeah,
says
that
it
is.
during
Oh, yeah,
Iron
we just
Banner.
played Iron Banner. Iron Banner just ended last week. Oh, that's hilarious.
So like, there's my tiny character.
Where am I? What am I doing?
And I've got 2 characters. So I've got the tank one that like uses a shield, and I can straight up just block so much damage.
Do you switch in between battle or something?
Whenever you want.
Or just-
Like literally, I
wanna-
can switch
want
between them
to-
constantly if I wanted.
to
And then like each one has their own type of dodge.
Emote, baby.
Each one has their own type. They're very different from each other for being like 4 characters, and they do a really good job of this multi-class system. And I can switch whenever I want. So like sometimes one of the classes, like this one, after I dodge roll, you have haste, so you run faster. But I could like switch off of that really quick, and then she has haste, and so it like combos real well. And you can just kind of create your own playstyle, which is a lot of fun. And what I've noticed is that for 4 characters, they all play very different from each other.
Like straight up, dog. It looks pretty tight
Mhm.
so far.
And then like
The
you see how these
bureaucratic
guys
walk.
have different they have different colored shields around them. Literally like the green
Is that
character.
back?
What?
Yeah, it's been back, dude.
my
Oh man,
God.
that they brought that walk back?
Well, I got it before it left,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, it was gone.
It's like
This is Rocky's dance.
characters have like colored shields around them where only certain characters can beat them.
That's just tight.
Oh shit!
Oh, I see. You got the tiny ship, the tiny sparrow.
Oh, I got the broom swept knight. I didn't even realize that.
Wait, wait, what? They put some Harry Potter shit in this?
I forgot I even had
love
that.
it.
The broom
I
swept
love
night.
I forgot I had that.
You just fucking ride a broomstick now in Destiny.
They be doing it in Destiny, dog.
They
What they
did
need
that,
is
so
they
it
need a
looked like it
bigger
would be a
map
fun
in
game.
Crucible where you can pull out your fucking your dealio,
so
your
you can
sparrow.
really
Yeah.
shit on niggas like, hey, what
Brr.
up?
They had that in Destiny 1. They didn't. They just don't have it in Destiny 2. Nobody knows why. Stupid for that.
People was talking shit. I got on my speeder and a guy shot me.
He
in the
shot. His
face.
speeder blew up and killed
He
me.
shot me in the
That's
face.
That's not even real.
This is stupid.
My speeder should be able to take more.
Well, now you
damage.
can't use it anymore. But I like.
But bring back the sparrow racing.
I remember that though with Destiny. It was like, man, people are having a problem with this. Well, we'll just take it out of the game. No, don't do that.
Hey, remember where you could fall on the ground and it was like a whole fucking map up under the racing?
Oh yeah,
that shit was tight.
Yeah, that's like kind of how they started to even like the reason why they made it in the first place. It was a community driven. That was a community driven thing for sure. All right, I'm gonna show off the telemetry and the criminals dragger here real quick.
but I will say, like, one thing about the community drive on Destiny that was always kind of a problem for me.
In the Crucible.
You're right. It was like we were saying before, how like this is a PvE game. So many people would complain about shit of how it played in the Crucible that they would destroy weapons for the sake of the Crucible, but then that weapon became useless in PvE too. What was that one? Not the Cold Heart. What was the flame one of that? You know what I'm talking about? The solar powered
yeah, which is great
beam
in
rifle?
both.
It used to be
It's called
so
the
OP.
Prometheus lens.
The Prometheus lens. Remember, it was so OP, but then it was like way too OP for
yeah,
PvP.
they gave you,
and then they made it useless for like a whole season so that they could try and redesign it.
They gave you an emblem for participating in the Crucible during that time.
That's funny.
And same with the Lord of Wolves. I have the Lord of
Destiny.
Wolves one on my PC account. I have both. I have the Lord of Wolves on my PC account and the Prometheus lens on. That's the only thing that I can't share between accounts. And it fucking makes me fucking mad. No, it doesn't, actually. It does not. I do not care.
You know, but like at least that's something with Bungie is like, even though they haven't always made like the best decisions and stuff, they stayed in touch with their community. They continuously respond to their community.
Speaking of that, there's a guy that went off on Bungie so hard that the community managers blocked him on all social media platforms.
That's
Because he was
Why?
complaining about the matchmaking in Crucible.
Like, what was he complaining about?
That he's the best guy in the lobby, so he gets matched with the worst guy in the lobby. And he doesn't think that's fair.
Then get a fucking squad, dude. Make some
For
friends.
But he's trying to do. I'm trying to do a recover.
A what?
A recov. Where like I go on somebody else's account and then they recover it after I'm done.
That's
So they can get
then
recluse.
you're already breaking the
so they can
purpose
get
of this game,
recluse, they can
and
get
so like
revoker.
fuck that guy.
Yeah,
to begin
exactly.
with.
So like when he gets blocked, it's like, are you surprised they blocked you because you're turning over like a service based business off of their game?
I'm mad because you guys won't let me break your game.
No, he's the same guy that complains like, look at these assholes who don't even deserve the not forgotten. But in here using not forgotten. Yeah, because of guys like you that took money from them to get them not forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
the guy is his
did
own
you
problem.
not think about that? Oh,
Oh, I'm so.
I'm just waiting for them to fix the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you ever think that they're not going to fix it because of people like you?
Right. Right. Ooh, this boss fight's getting intense.
This shit tight though.
Yeah.
I could see myself purchasing it.
It's only $7 right now. And it's like, what I like is it's one of those games where you're not just like going to the next level. It's like they have a whole classic platformer map. So you're going to like each little section of it, and it webs off in different areas, and there's hidden things, and it seems like there's a lot of reasons to go back and replay certain levels to like find hidden secrets and shit. They do a pretty cool job because like, there's my game over.
I was just about to ask, like, is it completely over? Does it start over like that?
No.
Okay.
It's not a rogue game. It's
Okay.
a story. So like here,
So
I'm
you
not-
could go back and fight that mission.
yeah, anytime.
Fight that
So I'm not going to do the
mission.
checkpoint. I'm just going to go back to my little camp right now for you. But like you can see, you have a whole camp. You have someone to get upgrades with. Each character has their own like. Each of their abilities has upgraded versions that have like tweaks to them and extra
Oh, I
little
might have fucked this
person
shit up.
things. Here's
Did
your
this
map
to me
right
last
here.
time.
So like the map itself reminds me of like an old Mario type game or something like that. You're actually running around a map and choosing levels. The levels are like platformer progression, even though there's no like platforming. You're
They
running
just
across
have the
maps and you're
stupidest
going through
freaking
stories,
security
and they do
stuff.
a really cool
I
job
feel
of
like they should
playing different series.
redo Zelda like this, the first one.
Which one? The original?
Yeah, just like redo it.
That's
like,
called
I don't
Legend
know
of
if Ze-
Mana.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you could do a Zelda game as like compartmentalized as this, because Zeldas are known for being so wandersome. But like,
argue that.
so if I like run into a random level,
Can't argue that. Like, but I'm just saying it would be tight.
they do a cool job of like how they handle the foreground and the background and the scenery of things, and like it's like hard to actually find little secret like secret areas of the map and stuff. They do a good job of hiding them and things.
What just
Yeah,
happened?
I'll say that one more time. Full Metal Furies, $7 at the moment,
What
which is like 66%
just
off.
happened? That should be fucking up, dude.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
St. Elmo's. Any other games going on?
St. Elmo is my favorite. No,
Deadass?
my
Over Makers?
oh, that was a straight lie. It's fucking Spice Rum.
Yeah, I got it as a gift.
Oh, okay.
It's for Spice
We'll
Rum.
bring
it
in
tastes
the
fine,
good shit if you want.
But I'm like, I'm usually a whiskey guy, and Makers totally.
Well,
I got some single malt
I can't
scotch.
drink. Makers is just too heavy. I can't do it. I tried.
That's fair.
And the day I tried, I left half a pizza in the front of
Oh yeah.
the shop.
Oh
I threw
yeah.
it all up.
Ooh.
Threw it all up because it just literally just sits there. It doesn't go anywhere.
The
Makers
Makers?
is no fucking joke.
It's one of when your whiskey comes in a wax sealed top.
Yeah, that is the best way to put it.
Makes you feel good
I'm
inside.
actually for whiskeys. Bullet is my favorite.
Booyah.
Specifically, Bullet Rye, because I like rye whiskeys
Booyah.
for like
Oh yeah.
got a little extra spice, a little extra flavor.
Bullet Rye is
That is my top
is like
whiskey.
top. It's top tier without the price. It's
Exactly.
greatly priced
I'm a
and it's
gin
fucking
drinker
delicious.
That's fair.
At home,
That's
I
fair.
drink gin, but when I'm out, I drink tequila.
You've definitely been
I
hanging
don't
out
drink
with
tequila.
these too many of these UK. Your roommate put that on you?
Nah, I've always drink gin.
Gin?
Yeah,
I never even seen you drink gin once.
I only drink it at home because that's.
I've
what
been to
it's-
your house.
Really?
Really? I've
No, I'm
never
saying
been to
you
your
never
house.
seen-
I've
no, I'm
never
saying,
been
like,
there.
you
I've
be
never
I'm
there.
saying you
been
never
there.
see me drink at the house.
Not
that's
gin.
That's what I drink at home. Oh, you were Jameer was.
You
buying,
guys had giant bottles
yeah.
of everything else.
Yeah, that was
besides
Jameer
gin.
though. Jameer was buying all that shit. He's an alcoholic.
These fools
It's
have the
different.
fucking
He had just got back from college. You know?
giant fucking
bottles of
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but when it's alcohol, like
But like when I buy gin or tequila because tequila is like my party drink. I can fucking drink as much as that and keep my shit together and then drive home.
You're the
Don't
only
drink
person.
and
You're the
drive.
only
Can't trust
person
college
I've
people
ever
when it
heard
comes
that
to
you say.
booze. To them, booze is just booze.
You're the only person I've ever heard say that tequila is the thing that I can keep my shit together on.
For some odd
That's
reason, I
true.
don't know why.
And then also, I'm not going to repeat what you said after.
Well, don't drink and drive.
Yeah, perfect.
That's why I said
Perfect.
that. I said that
Don't
right
drink-
after. Yeah.
don't drink-
I'm just saying I could take a few of those and I'll be.
That was it. Don't say.
Do a couple hundred on the highway, man.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So now they have the multiplayer,
Oh.
the co-op, and the single player in Battlefront. We're loading that up. This is a revisit.
Nice.
Holiday sale, $12. Yeah,
Probably more worth it than going to see the movie.
I think so. I
It's
think
less
so.
expensive.
Well, you didn't like the movie?
I enjoyed the movie for the time of watching.
Did you go and see it,
There's
Rock?
a million problems with
Are
that
you
movie.
serious right now, dog?
We're
You
talking
just-
Return of
Day
Skywalker.
one, I did not.
I'm not going.
around.
I'm not going.
I saw it that first weekend.
I'm
that
not
first
Loved
week
it,
or so.
dog. I saw it twice so far.
I'm not going
Mm.
to see it in the
It wasn't
theaters.
like good enough to see twice, but I mean, I liked it.
I am
Oh,
not going to
it's
see it
an
in the theater.
entertaining
That's
2
all I have to
hours.
say.
But if you want to get down to the story of Star Wars and canon and all the things that you could look into it, once you get outside of the one movie, there's an infinite number of problems. But as one contained movie, I think in the long run it might be better than. It's definitely better than 8, but I don't know if it might be better than 7 even to me too. Depends. I gotta rewatch it and like.
That's why I don't
to
like
have
it
that type of
because
evaluation.
we're talking about 7, 8, and whatever. It's like it was supposed to end at 6.
There you go.
Just
Yeah,
end it
man,
at that.
I can't
Let's
argue
just
that.
leave it at that.
Honestly,
We were lucky enough to see 1, 2,
through
and
6
3
were-
made.
that is Star Wars.
Okay, we were lucky
4 through
enough
6.
to see 1, 2, and 3 made.
Without
And with that, even at that same time, the actual feedback from the same people that are probably providing feedback for
These ones?
the 7, 8, 9 are the ones that didn't like 1, 2, and 3 because there's too much time passed from when the original concept, the idea from those movies. Now, granted,
everything
1, 2, and
changed.
3 didn't get made because they weren't ready to be made at that time. And those are the ones that were more conceivable to be made into movie scripts. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't get all of everything Star Wars. I'm not saying that. It's just when you come from the core 4, 5, 6, it's hard to get along with
anything else.
anything else.
Because they're all so different.
And also, how is a movie that was made in the 60s or 70s? How is there more action in that movie than there are in the new ones?
Yeah.
Like, how we only get one Darth Vader scene? How can we only get one of these? How can we only get this? How can we only see fucking Luke at the end of the movie go
So,
off?
In
Like, what?
some ways, that's where 9 does do better.
Luke Skywalker's
than 8.
telling people he's wish he commit suicide? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I get what you mean, yeah. They
Honestly, this is the thing. They skipped a bunch of shit because they had to use all these new people. They waited too long to do it, dog. It's just a bad thing. It's just bad.
Sure, and they got the fans' attention by using, the original actors on some of these occasions.
yeah, but
And it's like,
most of
oh,
them are
fuck
just the
yeah, oh,
voice.
yeah, da, da, da. And then you're just like, okay, well, Mark Hamill, you're a whole, you
Most of
ain't
them are
even a
just
G
a voice
anymore in
track.
my eyes because you just told somebody you came to a planet to die. And then you guys didn't even call them lightsabers.
I know. What the fuck?
And then
was laser
also,
sword?
laser sword, but also, get him.
a laser sword.
But also, I mean, I don't know.
I'll say
I don't know.
this: episode 9 did better than season 8 of Game of Thrones. Because, season 8 of Game of Thrones, they just shit all over everything that was this past 7 years of people's lives.
Well, sure.
9,
But you got that whole accumulation of shit to go with it.
Yeah.
So if you rewatch that all in a binge, you're fucking entertained.
What you also have, though, is season 8 of
Woo,
Thrones
boy!
was when they were truly, the writers of the show were creating
Oh,
the
see?
plot
I
line
fucks with this
as
dude right
opposed
there.
to the writing.
He's actually a good
Jedi,
hero.
yeah, he was
he's a
blocking
good
and shit,
hero.
yeah.
Who?
Yeah, most people don't do that shit. They're
Dooku.
idiots.
Count
He's a
Dooku.
good hero. Oh, he was about to catch a fade with other hero. So,
Count Dooku.
Here's the thing. Probably my favorite thing about bringing Star Wars back with 7, 8, and 9 is everything that's not 7, 8, and 9. The side rail movies, the games, the
Star Wars.
Galaxy's
Why you
Edge
went
at
and saw it.
Disney. I can't wait to go do
Yeah,
Galaxy's
but
Edge.
why you saw the movie is because
this
it's
the
Star
thing.
Wars. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. It's just same with Marvel. It's the same with
Star
Marvel.
Wars,
It's the
though.
same. Disney is the
It's-
fucking.
Look,
It's Disney, bro.
break
Disney's
from-
not
He got
realistic
clapped.
though.
He
You
got
gotta
clapped.
think about this shit though.
Yeah.
They're the people who watch this shit 9 times out of 10 ain't even into it no more. They gotta appeal to these kids now. So I understand. You just gotta go with the flow with this shit.
It's that
And
argument.
I
where-
hate it though. I hate the fact that they're doing that. But it's just
What?
it's whatever.
It's the argument that Star Wars is still kids' movies,
Yeah.
and so even though they're a large part of making 7, 8, and 9 is fan service to the people who saw it back in the fucking 80s and such, and me who saw it in the 90s and stuff. Sure, a lot of that movie is fan service to us, but still they are writing these movies to be family movies and kids movies, so it's got to have enough of that new element, that fun, cheeky, silly element. However, for episode 9, without spoiling anything, Babu Freak is better than Jar Jar Binks. You agree?
You spoiled that for me.
No, 'cause you don't even know who Babu Freak is.
Exactly. So you spoiled that. Now I do. He's a character.
You don't know
He's a
anything.
character that's comparable to Jar Jar Binks.
But
No,
not at all.
not even.
But still, not at all. Which is why
Sam
he's
out here
better
just
than
trying to
Jar Jar
spoil
Binks.
anything, though.
Why?
I do spoil shit by accident.
No one asked him any questions. He's like, I'm just
Look,
gonna
let
break
me
this
just tell
up.
you about how. Look, let me just tell you how Fallen Order ends.
Not gonna break anything up.
I'm not gonna spoil that,
But
you know.
I didn't. You know this. I didn't spoil shit. I didn't spoil shit with that.
It's just a freaking
Oh fuck.
habitual movie.
I really just want to
spoiler.
give the honorable shout out to Babu Freak because he was a dope ass character.
Yeah,
There
I
it is.
mean,
There it is.
yeah.
No, I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. And like at a, if you want to charge a premium for it, I expect to be thoroughly entertained.
Yeah.
So
Look, if
I'll
you go
wait
to that
to
movie-
get. I'll wait for it to come to and watch it in my house, in my home
Hey,
theater.
dead ass though. You
And
enjoy
I'll
it in the
wait
movie
for
theater.
Battlefront 2 to be $12.
Bruh,
If you go there
you'll-
for
you'll-
just
you'll
a visual
enjoy it in the movie
experience,
theater.
you're
I
gonna get
have
a
a-
great ass movie.
I have my own little movie theater in my living room. That's if I sit correctly, it's just as good as sitting at the big screen, and I'll get the 4K version of it.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
Alright.
Well, like what?
I had pretty dope seats though when I went.
Yeah, I'm not saying
I
about
saw it
nothing about
at,
dope seats in the movie. I'm not saying the movies are bad.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Is it good as Joker? No, I'm not going to see it.
What? It was good. It was actually.
Is it good as Joker?
Yeah,
No, you're lying.
it is. They tied
You're
shit
lying.
together. They fixed.
This is Rocky's.
fixed
Somehow
eight, but they-
Rocky's just he loves Anthem. The Star Wars, the Return of Skywalker was better than Joker.
For
I wouldn't say it's better. It's just as good. Though.
He just
I
said,
wouldn't
he just
say
said
that
it
at
is.
all.
It
He
is
just
just
said
as
it
good.
but
was.
Joker's a drama type movie where you
I'm
don't
not saying.
necessarily
I'm
have
not
to
saying.
see it
I'm
in a
talking about.
theater.
I'm talking about your entertainment.
Yeah.
Where how did it capture you?
Blockbuster
movie.
visual experience entertainment. It was fucking awesome. Story, plot line, and all the canon aspects of outside of that movie in the Star Wars universe, a train wreck. Not as bad. Not a complete
Right.
train wreck. It was more like they tried to salvage episode
Like a
8,
lot of
which
the
was a
Marvel.
train wreck. Because episode 8, I rewatched 7 and 8 before going to see 9. Last Jedi is such a fucking train wreck.
Oh my god.
In plot, in movie, in what they tried to show. Sure, there's completely cool elements about it, but you only got 15 minutes of worth it out of episode 8. Episode 9, you got so much more of what you really did want in a Star Wars movie. The thing is that they're trying to tie a bunch of shit together that, I mean, you can find
They
so many
tried to
problems
make
that
sense
sure
of
you
the
can
shit.
hate it before you go
And
see
that
the
was
movie.
the thing. Like, if you're going in looking for the shit to just like make 100% sense, like it was falling directly in line, you're not going to get that because they couldn't really show much
Somebody
about Luke and
blurt me.
Leia. Like, you know, like.
Somebody blurt me.
I mean, well, let's stop. even
Don't
getting
talk
into
about it. Like,
Yeah,
what are
I'm
you
about
guys
to say, it's
even
going-
doing
it's
right
going-
now?
Hey, we didn't even
That's
give
why we're not
up
going
no
into
info.
details
That's
at
why I
all.
said let's stop because I was really about to go in depth and shit. I'm over it.
That's fine.
I caught myself. You gotta respect that shit, dog.
I don't even know why we even got to that far, to that point.
Because you're playing Star Wars and the
Yeah.
movie's so good. Just
And,
go
like,
watch it.
This
I'm not gonna watch it.
just like take these
In the
games.
theater.
One of the dope things about having new Star Wars movies, each time they release a movie in these Battlefront games, they actually add stuff to the game that
Hey, what does this
correlates
remind
to the
you of right
movies
now?
without being what's in the movies. Like Episode 7 takes place
blurped.
after the
Get
Battle
blurped.
of Jakku.
Get blurped.
But Battlefield 1, right before Episode 7 comes out, they release this whole new game mode, this whole new level, and this epic fucking like map that you're playing on that is literally the Battle of
What's the guy
Jakku.
hitting me with?
And then Episode
Force?
7 takes place. It starts in the wasteland that is what's left after the Battle of Jakku. That was fucking awesome to me, right? That kind of like transmedia correlation to keep it all together. There's also things about Fallen Order, and I still suggest playing through that whole game because, to be honest, the jankiness wasn't enough to ruin the game for me. There's stuff about that game that actually makes parts of the whole 7, 8, and 9 universe cooler.
And how do you feel about the way Mando ended? Like,
How many episodes are there?
8.
Yeah, it ended terribly.
So
That's what I said. I was like, what the fuck was up with that, dog?
I feel like the last episode.
I mean, the
least
bitch was
tied together what
badass.
they were trying to set up,
That-
but the 2 episodes prior, you were really just starting to lose yourself and like, where the fuck is this show going? And then they wrap up the season.
Yeah.
But I think they did all right for wrapping up the season at least.
What, dog?
There's
I
going
just-
to be
I was
there's going
left
to be
with nothing
another
but questions,
season.
dog. Like, wait a minute, what?
But you're supposed to be to have another season. But I
Bruh,
guess
but
you're right.
not-
There's a line of what's a worth it
come
question,
on,
what
dog.
isn't.
Like,
Yeah, John Favreau wrote 5 solid episodes, and then you're right.
just
but
trailed off.
within those last 2 terrible episodes, there's some like crazy vital information that like will inform people better on like the Mandalorian, who he is,
Yeah.
how he came about. He's not actually a Mandalorian, the race. He's a foundling, which is the mechanism
for
they
orphans?
use. The mechanism they use to keep their credo alive.
Yeah.
Where you can't find real Mandalorians anymore. So they keep their culture alive by adopting children from war-stricken places or whatever else. He got blurped. And stuff like that. So it's like crazy, like, they actually tell you, because that was everybody's biggest question. What's a Mandalorian? What's this? What's that? Who are these? Are they really bounty hunters? Is it Jango Fett? Yeah, it's Jango Fett, but Jango Fett was most likely a foundling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the chick even explains, like, they're an alien race from Mandalorian. That's what a Mandalorian is. And he goes, no, it's the creed. It's a way of life. You know what I mean? And that's why it is, this is the way. This is the way. This type of stuff. That's what they're trying to instill, that, hey, let's get this Mandalorian idea, like, hey, it's not some mythical alien. It's going to be anybody, you or me, that's in this suit that lives their life a certain way.
But that shitty
And
mustache.
it allows it to expand. It allows it to expand on these new episodes, and maybe even a movie or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they're reaching into.
That was one thing in the wrap up that I really liked about The Mandalorian, was like, I'm watching this whole
Wookiee
season and be
warrior
like, this guy's
available,
supposed to be
dog.
the
I know,
most
that's why I love
badass warrior, and he just keeps getting punked by everybody. He just keeps getting hosed by all these fucking, like, nobodies. But then they wrap the show up like, oh no, he was still earning his Mandalorian hood. So at least, like, that I really appreciated, to see that come together.
He is whole now.
And that fucking that mudhorn symbol was dope as fuck. That girl, the girl who was like the leader was so fucking sweet. I loved her.
Yeah, she's badass, and then she goes off at the end
man,
too.
the
So that was
ultimate
cool.
blacksmith, just beats this shit with tools.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Like, it's like straight up. It's like you gave her a hammer and you didn't even give her like a sickle or something badass. She had the straight fucking prongs.
Yeah, she had tongs and a
Tongs
hammer.
and a hammer.
And then
Hammer,
wait, you're
dog,
like,
look
oh,
at
she
that.
didn't even need that. That's all she needed, and she fucked them up.
I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
they gave her
shit,
the most
this was
basic shit,
badass.
and she was wild with it. though.
Yeah. It's like she was more badass because she had this basic fucking. She had blacksmith tools and still rocked.
Just let him
ass,
get
like-
close.
Yeah, that was cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, once they got close,
God damn
was
it,
a
though.
wrap.
Can we get a name for this thing so we stop calling it Baby Yoda? Because it's not Yoda. It is not a Baby Yoda. I want to know what it actually is.
It has a name. They
didn't name it. They just called it a
His
foundling.
name's Jeffrey.
Yeah, thanks. they
Or
called
name's
it a
Jeff.
foundling.
That
So
one
it's the
bloke-
same thing as the
It's that
as
one
the
bloke that
Mandalorian.
everybody knows and doesn't really mind it.
Jeffrey.
Jeff.
But yeah, no, it's like that funny thing is, whenever I tell somebody that that's not Baby Yoda, they're like, "Really?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Well, yeah, it can't
So
be."
he's not protecting
We
Yoda?
don't know
You
what
can't-
race Yoda is.
Yeah, so we're not sure
We
what
know
it is.
there's a
I
weird
guess this might be
girl-looking one,
For all
This-
we know, Yoda's
this-
a Namekian.
this might be the way
Oh, God.
that this might be the way that we figure out the stuff about Yoda through the Mandalorian's episodes and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Which is dope. Because, I mean, like, well, that's where
This
we're
guy's
going with
trash,
season 2.
Yeah,
man.
Is
he was, dog.
His-
I feel bad for even telling you to get that piece
like,
of shit.
his job going forward is find Yoda's planet.
Right.
Should have saved that up a little bit, huh? You know?
I know. Should have
My
saved that.
bad,
up.
dog.
Your fault.
Speaking
your
of
fault.
Dragon Ball,
100%.
let's get a shout out for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Goku? Yeah, dog.
Goku is the mascot of the 2020 Olympics.
That's
How hype
just
were you
crazy.
on that, right?
I thought that was crazy.
Oh,
I
man.
was like, what?
Fucking words of Goku. You did it, Holmes. You're now you're an international celebrity.
He's been an international celebrity, dog.
But you're right, but like he hit
made it.
mainstream with
He
this.
made it.
He's mainstream now,
He made it.
which is pretty
Everybody's
dope.
gonna know who
I was
Goku
pretty
is.
stoked. 'Cause they
Look at
could've
this
gone
guy.
with
Look at this
Mario
guy.
For like, our nerd realm shit. They could have gone with Mario or a million other characters. They picked Goku. The guy who would win every Olympic event ever. And no one could even stand a chance because he's fucking Goku. I love it.
Look at that. What a piece of shit, dog.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, that's fucking hilarious.
I like how he
It
like
doesn't do nothing
Hey,
to him.
hey, all
dog.
bullshit aside, he had to work to get you, though, dog.
Right.
He was dogging
But-
dog.
that aside. I like how he jumps up next to you. You're shooting at him. He just walks by and then he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll turn around and kill you now." Those fucking heroes in this.
I just
Not
hate
bad, though.
how the heroes like. It's just like, dude. I mean, Jedi or not, you're getting destroyed.
The heroes are ultra OP for sure.
Not when I'm them. When I'm them, I get
But
4 kills and then die.
like you even saw starting to play this game. This game, you have to level up every character essentially. You have to play it to get good.
Oh, it slipped it
essentially.
in?
Not for like skills, but for just unlocking shit for your character. And a lot of that is to some degree random drop, it seems, but some of it I guess isn't.
They killed him?
That's where I'm a little confused. But watching you play just this afternoon, like you have to play this game just so you can be good at this game, not like so you can unlock stuff and actually be able to do it.
Don't focus on him, bro. Ooh, get headshot.
Also, how many skins are
Count
there?
Dooku. Oh, he's coming after me!
I like the yellow.
Got him.
Hey, but dead ass, and this ain't even like going into the Star Wars movie. This is just the thing I liked about where they went with it is when it came to like the Jedi's powers and symbolism. They stuck true to that shit. Heavy. They did way better than anybody else with these the last 3 movies. You gotta admit that it was shit that they never showed when you read the books and shit like that. They tried to touch on everything, and there was still a lot of shit they couldn't even get into, like the symbolism of their lightsabers and shit. Like,
Yeah.
that shit was tight. I like that shit because they didn't even explain it. But if you know the background of the colors,
They just
and
put
shit,
it in there, yeah.
and you saw it in the movie, you're like, oh yeah, this is like that shit was legit as fuck.
Yeah. And also Mandalorian,
Yeah,
where they brought the black saber.
yeah.
But like in Mandalorian, like I'm curious because to what I understand about the black lightsaber, that was the first Mandalorian's weapon.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm curious if we're gonna. I hope we get more of that background in the show.
Yoda's a Mandalorian.
But I don't think that was a lightsaber either.
I think it's like
it was the original weapon that went up against the Jedi.
Yeah, I'm not
And
sure
then-
if that's a
what are those called?
lightsaber or not.
Well, the ones that were
Yeah.
like plugged into fucking things. You talking about those?
No. They were they found something that would counteract the lightsaber. It was based off of a vibration and some type of frequency.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would be black, and sometimes they would be white. They would
Okay.
be white, but
I thought there was only one black saber.
Well, the thing is, they looked black because they glowed white. It was like weird.
Hey, you getting attacked there?
Uh-oh.
Hey, tuck it behind the
Studio's falling
tuck
apart.
it behind the green.
Studio is falling apart.
So, because like, yeah, there's some cool things when you get deep into like the crystals and how, because like kyber crystals are what make lightsabers naturally,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
the color of the lightsaber doesn't matter on the kyber crystal generally. It matters on who's wielding it.
Yeah.
But there's things like orange lightsabers are made with a material that's not a kyber crystal, but is known to like vibrate with the force, or however they, whatever terminology they want to use for it.
Yeah.
But that's so like orange lightsabers are
Milestone
knockoff
completed.
lightsabers. The black saber, I don't know what it is that makes that thing powered. I don't know what powers that, but there is something unique about the black saber.
Look it up.
And it is naturally the black saber was wielded by non-Jedi.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to learn more about that for sure. And it was really dope when they just snuck that in there.
Yeah, because like it just
The
tripped me out,
dark
like
saber.
because of the times, like everybody's like the lightsaber is blue because of the situation.
The dark
Cracking
saber.
on, you know what I mean?
The dark
that's
saber is what it's
the-
called.
Oh, the dark saber.
It's called the dark saber, created by Tara Visla.
But yeah, the blue is like enforcer mode, you know, like
Yeah.
it's war ready.
It was,
And
what
then
is it?
green is more like
So blue and green reference, I forget which is which, but
Green-
one is
green-
for, I think blue is for people who are better with controlling the Force, and green is better for people who are actually good with a lightsaber.
well, green,
That was the difference between the two, I remember.
but they went to they tried to use politics before they use force.
What does purple mean?
I forgot purple. I know like
So purple, because Mace Windu is the only one who uses purple.
Yep.
Purple is because, so like, okay, so a red saber is like a corrupted thing. So you
Yeah.
put hate into it for it to become a red saber.
Correct.
Blue and green, for what I've learned, was that one is for those that are better with manipulating the Force, and one is for those that are better with using a lightsaber. Is why it turns blue or green. Purple is for someone who is uncorrupted but can use both the light and dark side
Yeah.
of the Force. And Mace Windu is the only Jedi with a purple saber for that reason. He's the second most powerful Jedi ever, where Yoda was the most powerful.
yeah.
Who is this guy?
Then yellow represents someone who was corrupted and then recovered from that corruption. So they went to the dark side and came back.
But
And then
it's deeper than that too, because like
Look at this guy.
if you choose to if your lightsaber is yellow, you're also more into the knowledge of things too. Like
yeah, you've broken out because you were corrupted and then you broke from it, so you're in that free zone.
yeah.
But like purple means you were never corrupted. You just learned it without even feeding into the dark side. You just
Yeah.
learned its power, and you can manipulate both sides of the Force without ever. That's why Mace Windu is still dope as fuck. And even the story of Sammy J getting that saber is cool because he joked about it, and then they let him have it, and then he was like, "Wait, I really get to use this?" And they were like, "We're gonna keep it," because originally purple was a placeholder. And he talks about, there's a good interview where he talks about, like, you know, he it was almost like a joke where he wanted to, he's like, you know, I'm the only black Jedi, I want to have like a unique saber. And they talk about using purple, and they used it as a placeholder at first, but then Lucas said you can keep it for the movie, and they kept it, and he was like, Sammy J was just
The dark saber has like ties all the way back to like
oh, it's old. We're getting
Darth Maul, the Death Watch, 21 BBY,
but see,
all
it's,
kinds of stuff.
it's
Yeah.
shit like this that makes me like,
And it has to do with Mandalore.
why
It's
are you
directly tied
trying
with
to
Mandalore.
continue the Skywalker story? I want movies that take place in other eras.
Yeah.
I want more shit revolving around Order 66, and I want shit from back
Well, that
in the
stuff is
day
coming,
when
dog.
when the whole universe was all about what are you with, the Sith or the Jedi. I want to get shit from all the way back when like they were still using proto sabers that plugged into power packs.
yeah.
I want to see movies that take place in that era. If you're going to give us another trilogy, don't give a shit about what's going on around this series.
Well, that's why they just
Go
ended
somewhere
it. Like they
else.
literally said they ended it this way so they could step into something fresh.
good.
Because people just weren't digging
Like,
the way it was going.
Personally, like, look, we know what Order 66 did to the Jedi. I would love to see a movie that entirely encompasses a group of Jedi after Order 66 on the run, and they all die at the end, like a Halo Reach type of story for
There's
the
a
Jedi.
lot of the thing is there's a lot of Jedis that are alive. They just disconnected from the Force,
Yeah,
so
they
they're no longer
disappear.
Jedi.
They do a good job of approaching that in Fallen Order.
Oh,
Where,
true. They did mention
yeah.
it. Yeah, there's a
'Cause she,
grim. They
what's her
talked
name
about
right now?
that.
I'm
Did you
spacing.
read the Truce at Bakara?
I didn't
Star
read the
Wars?
books.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
yeah.
read books.
There's a lot of Jedi,
but I love.
That was the only
learning.
way to survive. You had to cut the ties with the Force,
Yeah.
or they could find you. And it was so many of them compared to you. you would be a fool not to. Like, even Yoda cut ties with the Force, right?
For like people who, because a lot of people argue, for the people who just hate on everything new Star Wars ever since the original trilogy, a lot of them just bitch about what isn't canon and what is, and why are you bringing stuff that was non-canon into the canon now and making it canon. However, I liked your tone about this, Rock, of like, good. I like that they're trying to really dive into what was fan fiction and take the cool elements about that and find ways to make it canon, because the canon universe needs to grow. And the fan fiction did the best job at expanding on those ideas. Like people bitch about force healing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it makes sense. And they did a good job of representing it.
Yeah. Because you had to pull that shit from the Force. And the thing is, that was a double-edged sword. You know, you could die from it.
Yeah.
You could die from doing that
Like,
shit. And
So they
That
cover
is cool
they
that
cover
they-
the dark saber in the Clone Wars. It looks like.
Yeah, well, a lot of the stuff comes from like Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that people
But a
are
lot of it's
pissed
not
about that they
canon,
decided
though,
to make
yeah.
canon in these new movies, a lot of the stuff that people are pissed that used to not be canon is now came from Rebels and Clone Wars. But Clone Wars was a fucking awesome show.
Rebels was tight as fuck, too.
I haven't
dog.
watched Rebels, but I need to get into
Oh,
it.
dog. There's another fucking show, too.
There's a new one, too.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to start watching it because I got the Disney Plus. I got a year of that shit for free, dog.
Nice.
Because I had an Apple product. That was pretty tight.
Interesting. I didn't. Oh, yeah. Apple TV got my brother a year or something like that, I think.
Yeah, I don't even know how it worked. It just like, I got an email and I was like, okay.
I don't know.
It was
Luckily,
weird.
my roommate was like, "I want to get it no matter what, so don't even worry." So I got lucky and I just got Disney Plus.
Come up. I would have stole it from DJ anyway.
What I love is, so when I was like trying to rewatch 7 and 8 prior to going to see 9,
Mm-hmm.
Episode 7 was this is pre-Christmas. Before Christmas, Episode 7 was on Disney Plus, but Episode 8 wasn't. I actually had to watch Episode 8 on Netflix, but I believe now the contract with Netflix is up, so Episode 8 is now on Disney Plus.
Okay,
Shit,
okay.
licensing is stupid sometimes.
It is. It really is.
So here's like a more like specific use of the colors. A blue indicated a Jedi Guardian,
That
a
means you were
Jedi
an
who
enforcer.
used Force on a more physical level.
Okay, so that would be the
So they used it for fighting.
Yeah.
And then a green indicated a Jedi counselor, a Jedi who preferred to reflect on the mysteries of the Force and fight the dark side at its heart.
That's a better way of exexpressing it. Thanks
Right.
for pulling that up, because that explains Yoda having the green too.
right. And then a yellow.
Then you have
indicated-
Grievous here,
A yellow, but he's got a yellow.
but he
He's
killed Jedi to
confused.
take those.
He's confused.
He killed Jedi to take those.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they get into. A lot of this is like even the saber that someone might be carrying, because it still
change
carries the imbued force from its master. So someone might carry another color. It depends on how they acquired it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can pick up a red lightsaber and it'll still be red.
Well, you had like we'll get into that. So a yellow indicated a Jedi Sentinel, a Jedi who honed his or her skills in a balance of combat and scholarly pursuits.
Oh.
However, you can still get a yellow from taking a red and meditating the negative energy out of it,
yeah.
and it will turn it yellow. So it's
So that's
like
like
yellow,
an
right,
corrupted saber
right.
becomes yellow.
And then they don't really get into any of the other ones.
Um,
And then they say purple. Well, they go purple, yellow, and orange crystals were still used by some Jedi. This or that. So basically, they get into how a lot of the crystals can just change the colors. This or that.
it's interesting because like, and this is where Fallen Order actually does a good job of starting to explain that.
And then what you said is kind of true. So what you're saying, you were talking about how Mace Windu had the purple lightsaber and he kind of could dabble on both. It says that the synthetic crystals favored by users of the dark side for their offensive properties,
Mhm.
and they were filled with negative energies, which gave the crystals the red color. So those synthetic crystals are the same ones that create purple naturally, yellow naturally, and orange naturally, without you imbuing
any
your
like energy into it.
Your energy, and exactly. So he could be having the purple one to imbue that offensive dark side attack on his sword play, if you will, while he still uses the force from the light.
Yeah.
So,
Now, does it say anything about
it gets
pink?
crazy.
Does it say anything about pink? I ask because
that's a lot
for
of-
Fallen Order that tries to do a good job of expressing what the colors mean and try to stay in the
Pink and
canon
purple
realm
crystals.
of things. There's a pink saber
Yeah.
in Fallen Order.
It shows up.
which is
It only
interesting.
shows up twice in the whole thing. Let's look at the first one. Okay, so it just says pink and purple crystals. So it just gives you a list of the actual crystal names.
I got a
Interesting.
fucking book.
And then
It's in the
who?
storage, though,
Mace
that explains
Windu's-
every color.
Is an amethyst. That's what ignites his saber is
an amethyst crystal?
amethyst.
So
yeah.
we can make those on Earth.
I got one right now.
Slide me a couple of them.
What about opal?
We'll
Because that's
get
my
to that later.
birthstone.
Yeah,
And that's purple. Can I have a purple saber?
My wife charges.
My name's Sammy.
My wife charges crystals under full moons, so I got a lot of Jedi materials.
Interesting. Well, now that we have shared all
the
this,
fucking
we
Star
dropped some
Wars shit.
Star Wars knowledge tonight,
I know now I have to change the video title.
right? All things Star Wars plus fuck Anthem. That's this episode.
Stop hating on Anthem.
Oh
dog.
man,
It's a
why?
great
It's so
game.
fun too.
I know.
It's also so
why?
easy. You know why? Because they fucked up.
Stop it. It's a great game. You love it. You love Anthem.
I want to love it is the problem,
I want to love it,
but I can't because it's
but
addicted to
he
meth.
can't. Damn, it just circles right back around to that meth reference. Oh, all right. Well,
ethical.
Today's lesson, kids: don't do meth.
don't do it.
Don't drink and drive.
Right.
Unless you got your shit together. Because you can
just
slam a
don't
few
drink and drive.
in.
Just don't drink and drive. We're gonna disregard that.
Yeah, don't drink it. Don't do drugs and don't drink and drive.
Whew.
Be a great child of the Force. It's real.
And that's that.
What
Oh
are you
man,
gonna?
Grievous is
Perfect.
fucked up in this image too. I like
Yeah, he's a bastard in this game too.
Is just all that
He
bullshit.
has that little
crawl?
bullshit spider crawl that
Yeah,
just
and
like
I was
kills
like,
you, and
what
then
the-
he's like, "Dude, you already have 4 fucking lightsabers."
Now you get a fucking charge. Like what?
Like,
the
Two
bullshit?
of those
Fuck,
lightsabers he just has permanently spinning while he's swinging the other two around.
Yeah, this guy's
But
a
you know what he
fucking
can't?
dick.
Can he control the Force? No. He
No.
just has sabers.
No,
for
he's
killing
just a
guys.
robot that
Yeah.
knows
so he
that
can't do the saber throw at least.
he's like my robot abilities won't allow, like my functions won't allow me to kill myself, so I can yield lightsabers because I know they won't hit me because I'm a
Well,
robot that can't
I'll
hurt
just
himself.
replace that arm. I
That's
don't give a
pretty
fuck
tight.
if I lose it.
No, I'm just the Mandalorian. The one robot's like, I have a protocol to self-destruct.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cannot be captured.
Come on, how about that?
It's like, but he can just like
Oh,
unlimitedly murk things
yeah,
no matter
and
what.
his like 100% accuracy.
Yeah, you're like,
where he's
that's
just
the
like,
efficiency of robots. This is, I want to. You go to a fucking, you sit down with Elon Musk and you're in the fucking Supreme Court and you're like, this is the reason why we should not have artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, the Mandalorian. like, but come
I'm
on.
gonna kill myself. I can't be taken. It's like, dude, this fool's gonna murk himself off now and kill
Yeah,
everybody with him
around.
with no concern to anybody else's life.
Yeah.
Like, get this
No,
robot out of
I
here.
can't be captured.
Even as a nurse droid, fuck
Yeah.
those guys. I'm just
I'm
gonna
an old
protect
nurse
this one.
droid. Yeah, I'm an old nurse droid.
But if there's
this
anything,
guy.
that character might be my one. He's definitely one of the favorites, or it's one of my favorites from that show. Like
Fuck that guy.
from the Mandalorian. Come on, like first episode, you get him being super badass, but he winds up being evil. And then at the end of the show, you get him to finally come back and be a fucking badass for the right side. I loved it when he was just got the Yoda on the chest and he's just like pew pew pew.
But didn't he get like completely reprogrammed though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
By
What's his
the
name?
chick.
No,
No.
the guy who died. The
I know he died. Yeah, he died.
He
But then the
reprogrammed
chick.
it.
But then the chick had control over him.
No.
No.
At the
he
end.
reprogrammed him.
I know, but at the end, she had control over the robot. She was giving him direct orders to help the Mandalorian, all that stuff.
She had to
The
like
robot.
rationalize with the robot because
Right.
the robot's job was to protect
Right,
the
exactly.
baby.
So she like took over a
And
soft hack. We'll
negotiated.
say a
Yeah.
soft hack
That's a good way to put it.
over his kind of behaviors.
Yeah.
Can't argue that.
Oh man! But even in the first episode, he was like that too. He's like, "Oh, we're fucked. Guess I'll blow myself up
Yeah.
now." And then Mandalorian's like, "No,
No, he went from okay, I'm here to kill you, and then goes, let's work together. He's like, okay, that seems reasonable. Like he's totally a robot.
Yeah.
He's like, let me calculate that.
Well, he's
okay,
a robo bounty hunter.
Okay.
right?
I'm down to share the money that I don't even need.
yeah, exactly. Like okay, and then it goes
As
to
long
like,
as we get the bounty done.
yeah, and then he goes to like, I'm just gonna murk myself off. We're done. And then he gets talked out of that, and they
Now,
kind of become
how
friends
are you
at the
gonna
end.
feel when season 2 starts with Mando rebuilding him? I don't think that's gonna happen. but
He's melted, bro.
It's just.
That
I know,
motherfucker
but that's
is
why
done.
I'm saying,
He's
how
schmelted.
pissed would you be when season 2 starts and Mando rebuilds him?
That would be ridiculous.
It's not the first time they did shit that stupid in Star Wars.
But come on, dog.
Episode 9.
Look,
Stop.
I
Okay,
didn't
well, the
say
show's
anything.
over.
You
Right?
didn't
It's
know
like,
nothing.
this is it.
You don't know
This is
shit from
it.
that.
This is it, dude.
Look,
How many times do you think
Why
you
is
can
Sam
say that?
like this,
How many
dog?
times do you think
Why
you can
is he
say?
like
I
this?
haven't said shit that ruins
It's
Why are you
until
like
you
this,
do,
though?
but you're working up into the
Oh,
moment
man.
you do.
But you're gonna drop a bombshell and then
I
be
ain't.
like,
I am
sorry.
not going to drop any bombshells. I'm very careful about it right now.
All right.
I don't believe you.
Whatever.
Anyways, that was a good little Star Wars rant. I liked it.
The whole universe explodes.
Everybody dies.
Everyone dies. That's how everything ends.
Nothing's real. Everybody dies.
I thought that was a Voss water bottle. That's PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
It's tight.
From some event. I think it was from
PlayStation.
well, I mean, like from the
PlayStation
PlayStation,
event?
that December event thing that they used to do. Did they do it last year? I don't think so.
Nah.
That's weird because this is the one that I got.
Well, that's the one I got when I went with you. That's my roommate got that one. I think like the year prior or something.
Well, he also
know.
works for
He also
Sony.
works for Sony, so he's got a lot of cool
so
shit.
he's that's it. I actually stole this from my roommate. If he's watching, thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
But yeah, so I don't know the direction for the movies, just like it's the same thing that people have complained with, like anything that Disney's taken over, where they just start to like they keep the fans, the super fans, by releasing new Star Wars content in years that you definitely never thought you would get new Star Wars content.
Yeah.
And then they capture the eyes of young children to prolong and keep this thing alive at whatever cost. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, they gotta do
they're
it
like,
because Star Wars is so good.
They're
you
gonna
gotta
tell a
figure it
half.
out.
They're gonna it's just like with Avengers. Like I see it the same thing with Avengers than anything Marvel.
Yeah.
There's a point where like you have to just take the movie and go, I'm not gonna get what I want from this because my time of when this origin stuff is gone. It's
Well,
over. The origin
gotta
stuff
realize-
is gone and over.
They're about
And-
to reboot all the Avengers shit. Watch.
Well, no,
Well, it's like they got
and I believe that, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like from a consumer standpoint of, and then someone who's also been doing it for a long time, where you just you show up to the movies. Like I'm just holding firm on this Star Wars one, is because I felt the same about all the other ones, and I went and saw all of them in the theater. And I wasn't thoroughly satisfied. I'll watch all of those on Netflix right now. Even the Han Solo one, I'll watch it right
I'll
now.
I
watch
like
that.
Solo.
It's not that it's not
I
entertaining.
liked Solo.
It
It's
was
not that it's not
stupid, but I liked
entertaining.
it.
Exactly, it was stupid, but it was like
Yeah.
I'll do that with every single Star Wars. There will be a day where I binge every single fucking one of these things, or a weekend.
But like-
And I'm not against any of them, and that's what I mean. It's just at some point you got to go. Hey, if it's good, I'll still find out that it's good.
yeah.
Right? I'm not saying I fuck the movie. I'm just saying fuck going to see it in the theater.
And let's put it here. Just like
That's it.
MCU and
Gotta
Star
take a
Wars,
little
we
guy
can
to
say
see
this
it
about
there,
now.
man.
MCU. We're through the
They'll love
MCU. We got through the story.
No, they won't. They
So
have no
now-
idea what it is. My son loves Darth Vader.
Everybody loves
But-
Darth Vader.
He's
Like
4.
what I'm saying is like, okay,
He
so
has no
MCU,
idea about Star Wars.
we finished Endgame.
Loves
We
Darth
got
Vader.
to the end of the MCU, and now we can explore the void. We can explore everything. They can get weird with it. Like one of the ones I'm most excited for is this new Doctor Strange movie, where they get into the multiverse and shit's just gonna get.
And you're just
really
hallucinating
weird.
the whole time.
That's the different reason.
Oh, that's because we took mushrooms.
So
I forgot
but like
about
they get to like with this new movie, it's a good example of they've broken out of like having to tie it all together. They can just have a movie and explore whatever Marvel has to offer.
We should do that.
Star Wars is now at that point too. Doesn't
Where it
matter
doesn't have to
how
be
you
something-
feel about the
Right.
Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
We're at the end of that shit.
Yeah.
Now Disney, do the right fucking thing and explore the universe. And here's the
Right.
thing: they've already been doing it, and so far they've kind of been going in the right direction with all that other
saw the
stuff
movie
of
Cats.
trying to explore.
I just want.
the entire universe that exists and everyone cares about. It's
Glad
not
nobody
just
calls that.
fucking Luke Skywalker. We all care
I
about. We
want-
care about this whole universe.
I want a movie just called Darksaber.
Yes.
Do it.
That's what I want.
And I want that to be like from like the Order 66. I just want an Order 66 movie. I want a movie that's just all about slaughtering Jedi. From the perspective of Jedi.
Get this guy out of here.
Yeah,
All right,
you're
peace.
wilding out.
This guy's crazy, dude. I want a movie just about slaughtering Jedi.
Why do you hate Jedi so much?
I know, dude.
It's
This
not
guy,
that, it's that would be such a different story
The
than
dark
what Star
side.
Wars typically
The dark
does.
side is
That's
taken.
generally the cheeky good guys win at the end. Did you play Halo Reach?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play Halo Reach?
Yes, and I just re-downloaded it because I got the Master Chief Collection for free. Game Pass, baby. On PC and Xbox.
I love that.
And it comes out with every single one of them
Yeah.
and includes the new Halo 4 when it comes
Yeah.
out, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know that shit until I read
But
it.
like
Damn.
Halo Reach, I think Halo Reach is my favorite from the Halo series
They're
in
all
terms
so
of the
good.
story.
They're all so good, to
but
be honest.
for the
like,
story, Halo Reach
I'm playing that.
was
I'm playing
as
that tonight.
good as it gets. Like
Yeah.
you start off looking at your helmet, you don't know why,
Right.
and then you get to the end and it all comes together to like the greatest fucking thing
Yeah.
ever. What if they did
You're
that
a fucking
for a Jedi
You're
movie?
a fucking Spartan.
Yeah.
Get used to
But
it.
like,
Halo Reach was fucking great.
It really was.
I'm not gonna say things because that's spoiling the end of that game. Even though that game is old as fuck. But where that game
If it hasn't
gets to-
been released in the last 2 weeks, you can talk anything
Why?
you want about it.
Yeah.
We know that.
Oh, a few months.
but it's
few months.
look.
Well, there's still stuff that Rocky still hasn't played that you will love to
Halo
spoil for
Reach.
him.
You start the game knowing you die.
Yeah.
But you don't know why you die. And
course.
that reason is
Is
fucking
the best.
amazing. Like it's one of the best stories I think I've played in video games.
Yeah, I
was
can't
the
argue
Halo
that. That
Reach
was really
storyline.
good. They did,
Especially
because
because like it opens with like, hey, design your helmet. And then what do you see? Just that helmet on the ground. Like symbolism to the max. So fucking cool. But with that, I'm done.
He's done. Oh, I already updated it. Cool. Just had to change the video around so we could add the Star Wars little tidbit there in the title because we went hard on it at the end there, but I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Star Wars rants.
Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I had a great
And next
time.
week we'll be able to talk about Return of Skywalker.
Next week's gonna be a spoilers.
Oh, I have my sources. Okay, guys, that's all. We'll just say that.
Well,
Okay,
then just
for your
over there-
consideration only.
Next week might have some spoilers.
Well, if it's
Maybe.
if you're not spoiling it for anybody on the show, we don't really consider them spoilers because
I just
'cause
given the
technically that's what we do.
pre-possible Advance warning.
we spoil things for people so they don't have to go through. We're like the TLDR of stuff. You know what I mean? Like we talk to you about it so you don't have to read about it.
Lord of the Rings. Frodo throws the ring into the volcano. And
There
it
you
all
go.
ends.
It's fucking
Whoa,
ruined
whoa,
for you.
whoa.
Don't
Whoa.
go see the movie.
I didn't finish Lord of the Rings, you son of a bitch.
Don't go see the movie. All right.
Spoiler: Vader's dad.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, Argon he only becomes the king at the very end. And that's why they titled the name appropriately. All right. No, but seriously, that was a good episode for us on the way on our 2020 fucking debut. I enjoyed the little Star Wars convo. A lot of good information in there.
We learned all about the lightsabers today.
I mean, honestly, like this is type of stuff, like you said, that maybe they should start focusing on,
Yeah.
right? Where there's some more lore stuff captured inside the already great universe of Star Wars. That's what I'm saying. Marvel's universe, Star Wars universe are already so great. We're going to enjoy the stuff. Now let's just get to the point where we're appreciating some of that stuff that we couldn't get back in the day. These guys, I guess I have to see the video.
God, it's dumb.
I guess I have to see the video.
I'll
I
say
guess
this
I have
to
to see
anyone
the
out
video.
there: after you see the Rise of Skywalker, join the subreddit r
I've seen
saltier
this.
than crate.
I've seen this. I've seen this. I've seen this.
Find that
I've seen that.
subreddit.
I've
It's
fucking
fun.
seen
It's
that.
fun.
Needs to be put in prison.
Needs to be put in prison. No, that guy was over 18.
He's a fucking idiot. I'm just saying for stupidity.
He's probably just
Fucking
dead
internet, man.
by now.
The fucking internet, man.
Oh God.
Absolutely, but yeah, though it was good. It was a good discourse on Star Wars, everything Star Wars, and the lead up to what we have now, Return of Skywalker, and hopefully maybe maybe we provided a little insight on what maybe the future holds without knowing it.
Right.
What maybe we can.
Hey, we predicted shit in the past.
Exactly. So it could go that way. But I think we're gonna sign out on this one tonight, guys. Next week we will go over
Stuff.
Return of Skywalker. We'll have a full. That'll be about 3 weeks out. It'll be 3 weeks out. We shouldn't ruin it for anybody viewers or any consumers of the podcast.
Watch it this week.
Hopefully, and if it is a spoiler, hopefully it's one that's good enough that will give you more reason to go see it. Because that does happen too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, but you're like, oh, that happened? Maybe I got to go see it. So hopefully something like that happens. Then, of course, we will do our normal news reviews of video
Talk
games.
Play games.
I
show
think
you some cool shit.
I think we need to play something everybody. So I think either Broforce, the classic Broforce, or
Maybe
like
this
something
one
like
that
I got
a
that,
little
dog.
fatal,
Or
a
something
little
like
Full Metal
that.
Furies. That's a multiplayer one.
Yeah, so maybe something
If
like
I'm
that. We'll
having
get the
fun this
doc.
week,
We'll get
hop
the
in.
doc in here or something. We got something. We'll get something going, to where we can all have a little game to play, co-op or whatever it is, and we'll do that. And then
You'll
I
just
can't
have to
I can't
come
remember.
back and see.
I can't remember. There's nothing new. There's nothing good that's new that's coming out immediately.
No, but you know what we got coming out in a couple months? Cyberpunk.
Yeah, dude. No, the 2020 lineup is fucking great.
I
March
just feel like I
alone
wish it was
is a whole
online
year of
and-
lineup.
and
Yeah, exactly. It skipped a
multiplayer.
year. It skipped a year. In 2018, the shit was lit. And then
Yeah.
2019, if you get like a poster board view of the games that came out, you're like, oh, actually, 2019 was
Just
good.
look at the nominees.
It was actually
for
good.
Game of the year. Of
But if you look
2019.
at the whole spiel of it, it's actually a good year. But it wasn't saturated, and the year before we were used to just saturation.
The thing is,
But remember
And this
when
is also
for being
Sony
good.
and everybody was saying this shit though. They said they weren't gonna.
new console.
Yeah, they weren't going to be
2020.
putting a
We're
bunch
getting
of
them
crazy
both.
shit out. They were just
Yeah.
going to focus on the.
It's
the,
going to be
like,
at the end of the
major
year.
hits.
It's going to be latter end of the year, but we will definitely see the next gen of console. And clearly, we from CES, we're going to see the next gen on streaming devices, monitors. So I wouldn't be surprised about halfway through if we get some new announcements on graphics cards. What's the next years are going to withhold the new technology. The Infinity Fabric from AMD has already been launched with the new Ryzens, and that stuff's on the uptick. And that's a whole new technology that's going to be explored too for PC.
We also have
So-
Google Stadia. So who
Stadia,
knows what
exactly.
that's
So
gonna be yet.
everything
Like
is
how
getting-
good that's going to be. when it
Everything's getting
becomes.
bumped up in 2020 because we got the baseline and the introduction for most of this shit in 2019, and this is when we see it come to life and then see what that really means.
Also, Bill and Ted 3.
I seen some
You saw those
screenshots,
screenshots?
and
Yeah.
Keanu
Matrix
looks
War-
crazy as
Oh, man.
fuck with the shaved
Both
face.
of them
I
are
know,
old as
dog.
fuck too.
He
right?
looks
It's-
crazy
I
with the
know.
shaved
I cannot
face.
wait. Even though I don't expect any of it to be good, I'm gonna love it.
Alrighty.
You know?
Well, that's what. Hey, 2020 is hopeful. The year of the rat, boys. The year of the rat. Woo! All right. So plug gaming. We out. Dutch Master out. What do you guys say, Rocky?
So,
You like that year of the rat?
6ix9ine get out this year too. So,
Damn,
you know.
player. That's an omen.
Yeah, year of the rat, man.
That's a
All
fucking
you snitch
omen.
motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, we don't
You
fuck
the
with
bowl of
snitches.
dicks.
We don't
You heard
fuck
that
with
here
snitches.
first.
We don't fuck with that. Let that be clear. I don't mean to get all weird on you guys here at the end of the show, But the Plug Gaming don't fuck with no snitches.
Snitches get stitches.
We ain't going. Don't ask me shit. I ain't going to tell, man. That's it. Don't ask me. That's it. Okay. Plug Gaming out. We out.
Man.
Done.
All right. Good. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy
Seriously,
New
we're
Year's,
leaving right
people.
now. Peace out. See you next week, Monday, 6 to 8. Instagram, the plug_gaming. We out there. Say what up. Peace.